What's up, guys? It's Spaze from the Booze Nest. If you haven't noticed already, something has changed. I don't know what way I'm pointing, but there it is. Again, Justin, congratulations on picking the new name for our episode here on not only the Booze Nest, but also Michigan Breakfast Club. We have quite the episode on its way. So obviously, the first change you saw was exactly what I just showed. And today we actually have a very special guest with us today. We have, if I can get him on screen, bear with me 1 second. Isaiah, welcome, my man.
Yo, Spase, what's happening? Thanks for having me, man.
No problem, brother. Thanks for taking the time today to actually jump on with us.
Of course.
Again, welcome. Thank you for joining. I guess one thing we can definitely jump into right away is how's everything been? I know you weren't feeling a little well for a little bit. Hopefully you're feeling better.
Yeah, that's the question of the day right now, right? A lot of restaurants. And we've seen a lot of the same things that a lot of restaurants are going through right now. COVID has been kind of a fickle thing with our industry, and it's definitely rearing its ugly head. You know that we shut down just a couple weeks ago when I tested positive. My whole family ended up getting it, except for my youngest daughter somehow. I don't know how that happened, but thankfully everyone recovered. We're doing well, and we're back to the grind, man, right where we need to be. So
that's great to hear. That's great to hear. Adam, welcome. Thanks for jumping in again. We appreciate you coming on each and every time. And before we jump into question number one, I do want to remind everyone, especially the new viewers that might be joining us today via Michigan Breakfast Club or any of the other pages, please go to StreamYard.com/Facebook and give StreamYard the ability to access your account and actually be able to show your name instead of your name showing up as Facebook user. So let's jump right into it. Let's jump right into the nitty gritty. Tell me about not only your story, but the story of Khom Fai.
So right now we're really excited. We are in a brand new building that took us quite a while to build, but now we're finally here and we're really excited to be here. Unfortunately, after we opened at the beginning of January, COVID hit. We closed down for a couple of months. It was something so new and so, I don't know, the restaurant industry's never seen anything like this before. And so we talked with some of our guests, we talked with our employees and the rest of our team, and we decided like, hey, we're gonna take a break for a little while. We closed for 2 months. And then when everyone felt comfortable coming back, once we got it all figured out, new regulations in place, we opened back up and we're really excited. We had a lot of support from the community, which was really cool to see. And then after getting going again, we closed when I got COVID, reopened again, and now we're back on carryouts and delivery only. So it's been a pretty wild ride for us for being so brand new. But I mean, I guess that's what we do, right? We just adapt and we keep pushing through. So
yeah, I actually grabbed dessert from you guys earlier today, and it was delicious. So
I did. I saw you sneak in earlier.
I did.
Picked up some carryout. How was dinner tonight?
It was great. Everything was spot on, as it always is. Actually, that first time you saw me was my first time in with my wife, and I think you will be seeing quite a bit of us.
I love that.
And it's a 100% guarantee at this point.
That's our job, right? So we have to bring Thai food, especially what we do. It's different. So beyond having pretty good food, I think our food can hang. I learned to cook from my dad. My dad learned to cook from his mom, and it's been passed down generation to generation. I never went to culinary school or anything like that. And so I'm still in awe of that food. That's my family's history. That's us sharing like a part of us on each plate. And I think it's fantastic. So we've been really fortunate. We've got, I think, 8 or 9 Our Detroit Best of Thai awards that we've accumulated over the years. and just happy to share with you guys. I also saw that you had on your order. I'm going to show you this, something that we're kind of excited about. These are the to-go cocktails that we're running. He's got his. Okay. Go ahead and throw some ice in yours, and I'll get mine set up.
I'm going to toss mine in a glass since I usually like a little bit of a cube.
No, for sure. I'm going to drink mine right out of the bag. So we've been calling these adult Capri Suns. And you could just get your, we're going to make this fun. We're going to get a little twisty straw here. And we're going to make it zany. And you can drink right out of the bag if you want and seal it back up there. So it looks like we're starting with the same one. Check this out, man. So these are really cool. They're super popular. Ever since Michigan law has passed some of these to-go cocktails, we've seen a pretty good amount of people. Look at that, the perfect amount. We've seen a pretty good amount of people actually partaking in them. What's up, Brian Jasky? Brian is one of our regulars. Brian came into the restaurant our very first day that we've been open, and he's been coming back with his family ever since. So cheers, brother.
Cheers, bro.
So yeah, man. So take a taste of this here.
Oh,
that's one of my favorites.
That's money. I get that coconut right off. I know bourbon people are going to understand this. I get that coconut right off the nose.
This is one of our favorites. So we try to make it easier. We have an infographic that we just made to make it easier for people to order to-go drinks. They can go online to khomfai.com and they can go and order carryouts, curbside carryout or delivery online. It's got all of our alcohol options on it. Just make sure you bring your ID with you when you come to pick up or if you get delivery. Yeah, but
I'm going to actually try pulling that up and showing it on the screen too. So if you want to continue talking about everything that you guys are offering as well, be my guest.
Yeah, I don't want to try to do like a real big sales pitch right now, but at the same token, I want people to know, like, man, if you got to stay home and you got to eat and you can't dine in anywhere right now, we still want to give the full experience to everyone, and it's through these cocktails. So this one is this one's really awesome. This is one of our tiki drinks. We specialize in tiki cocktails. It's already kind of Pacific Islander. It's got a really cool history to it. It matches our food really well. Fresh juices. This particular one is made with coconut tequila. It's called a painkiller. It's a play on a classic painkiller, but instead of scotch, we use 1800 coconut, some real coconut cream, some great juices and things like that, and it's a hit for us. So
this is delicious. Like,
thank you.
It almost reminds me of a more spiked version of a pina colada, with a little bit of alcohol content.
Exactly, and that's what's cool about tiki, right? So if you are a booze guy. Like, I love bourbon. I love whiskey in general. I love scotch. I love Japanese, whatever it is. Mm-hmm. I like all that stuff. And this can hang with guys that like booze forward. Oh, yeah. Tiki packs a punch, man. And it's always been one of my favorites. One time my wife, let me tell you a quick story.
Yeah, be my guest. I'm trying to find that infographic so I can toss it up there. So take as much time as you want.
Perfect. So my wife decided to surprise me with a trip to Chicago, and we went to go see Hamilton. We stayed for one night, and we decided we were going to eat some good food. We're going to see the show, have a great lunch, and then go back home the next day. We flew out just for the day.
Okay.
And when we got there, she had made reservations for a couple different restaurants that I didn't even know what she had planned. One was called, I think it's called just called the Supper Club. Mm-hmm. And this place is awesome. We walk in the door. You walk down these steps, and it's one of these places that not only looks beautiful, but you get to the host stand, and the hostess, they require a picture of the two of you before you come in so they know how to recognize you. They research who you are based on your social media stuff. They can talk. They asked me how the restaurant was, and I'd never met these people before. I've never been there before. It was like a beautiful experience. They had over 300 bottles of bourbon in this building, and it was like outrageous. It was so cool just to walk around and see all that stuff. Anyways, dinner was beautiful. And the other thing we did to get to the whole point of this is that she told me we're going to go to this place, and she didn't know the name of it, but she knew the address. The taxi drops us off. We get out, and it's this burger bar or something. I'm like, man, she's bringing me to a burger bar. That's weird. We're not really into burgers. And she's like, this isn't the place. And I said, what do you mean this isn't the place? That's so strange. And she goes, this isn't right. So we're looking at the building, and she sees a tiki torch on the alleyway. And we go and follow this dark alley with no lights except for 5 tiki torches that lead to a door. We get to the door, we knock on it, and a guy opens a small hatch, and he asked if he could help us. We said we have reservations. He lets us in. We walk down 2 hallways, and we open the door, and there's this huge tiki party going on downstairs. And it's a place called 3 Dots and a Dash, and it is a speakeasy tiki bar, and it is awesome. If you are ever in Chicago in downtown, make reservations at 3 Dots and a Dash. It was a party, and the glassware is beautiful. They're all decked out in classic tiki ware, and it was just such a fun time. But the drinks, man, holy mackerel! After 2 of those things, you were feeling so good, and it was awesome. It was the coolest trip. Oh yeah, you got to. It made your money worth it, especially when you're spending a lot on cocktails in Chicago. I mean, the ambiance is worth it alone, but it was a really good time. So,
absolutely. So I'm gonna try sharing this file. That way everyone can see it. That way they can also see how to order as well. So
awesome.
I think it's coming up.
Yeah.
So there it is. You have the $8 cocktails that well, actually, you know what? It's your menu. You take it away.
Yeah, no problem. So this is really cool. So when we decided to do a cocktail to go program, we had to make sure we covered everything. The restaurant has a beautiful big bar here, which is something that we lacked at the last restaurant. And we said, how can we do this? When we were building the place, they said, what do you want the bar to look like? And I was like, man, after having a liquor license for that many years and not having the opportunity to sell as much alcohol, I said, build it to the ceiling, dude, as high as we can go. And it's like 20 feet tall. And so when we did our cocktail to go program, we wanted people to know that we're still doing our cocktails. We still make everything from scratch. We're still juicing our own juices, making our own shrubs and syrups, and we're doing the whole thing. To make it easier, though, we made this infographic where you can see that we're featuring 2 of our tiki cocktails for $8 each. If for some reason you have a cocktail that you just love, that you come in here all the time and you want something else, we'll be happy to make it for you. Just let your hostess know when you call. We have a beer list that you can buy in 2 packs or 4 packs to make it easy for you. We have a wine list with $15 bottles of wine and $16 bottles of wine. We obviously are doing them at retail prices right now, not like you would purchase in the restaurant. And like I said, you can order them either online or you can order them over the phone, which is really cool. There's more options if you look at the online setup that we just couldn't fit on the infographic. But, we don't move as many cocktails as we would if we were normally open, but just having the opportunity is something that is pretty cool for us. So we're taking advantage.
Yeah, very nice. So if you want, go ahead and tell everyone the phone number. That way they know where to call so they can place an order.
Yeah, for sure. So like I said, you can go to www.khomfai.com, and there is our online ordering portal. There's event pages, which we'll get into a little bit later. So you can see some stuff coming up. Obviously, some things are going to be delayed right now. If you ever need to make a phone call, you can click on it right through there. But the phone number is 586-247-7773. And we're doing curbside pickup, so you don't even have to get out of your car. You can pay ahead of time or pay when you get here. Once you pull up, we'll see you or give us a call, and we'll bring the food right out to you. That way you don't even have to get out. And
yeah, that was by far one of the easiest processes I've ever gone through as well. And for those that are curious, I also have the information going down here on the ticker. If you want to confirm, make sure I put the right phone number there just to be safe. But
that's awesome, man.
I got all the information going right down there on the bottom of the ticker for anyone that does want to place an order, be my guest. So I actually do also want to call out 2 people that should have already done this by now. Chris, I saw your comment for the East versus West. Go to StreamYard.com /Facebook and allow access to your Facebook account. That way we can actually see your name when it pops up. I believe the other person is Buddy Nick. Same thing, bud. Get that name in there. That way you actually see your name. We had a bunch of comments jump in as you were telling the story as well. Yvonne, hello. Nice to see you, sir. Hopefully everything's going well. I am not shaving off my beard, Alexi. And that's another person that actually has to go on to StreamYard.com /Facebook for it to happen.
What are you guys new? You got to allow
Yeah.
this app to recognize you here.
Yeah, and Steve, same thing. I'm not shaving. Are we drinking, Yvonne? Yes, we are. We're actually drinking one of the to-go cocktails from Khom Fai. I ended up ordering dessert or dinner today, and it was delicious. Cheers, my friend. Hopefully, we'll
Cheers.
get you to jump back on again as well. So,
What's
we
Yvonne
went
drinking
through-
tonight? That's the next question.
Yeah, actually, that should be a question for everyone. What's in everyone's glass tonight, right? Because I know we're not the only ones drinking. At least I hope we're not. If we are, it's still okay.
I know Adam Pinkerton's drinking some variation of Blanton's. I don't know what it is.
Yep.
I don't know if it's a Blanton's black or if it's a gold or green, but that guy's house, I imagine, is just filled with Blanton's from over the border.
And he actually asked, as you were talking about the possibility of getting a drone delivery to Windsor since the border is closed.
I don't have a lot of drone experience. I'm not sure it would make it over the border without a little bit of resistance. I'm sure the government frowns on that sort of thing, but if we do, you'll be the first one to get it, I promise.
There we go. I guess that kind of jumps us into question number 2, since we're talking about borders. And I know the first time I walked in, I've never seen a Japanese whiskey collection or Asian whiskey collection like the one I've seen at Khom Fai. So if you want to maybe take some time and explain to everyone where your love for Japanese whiskey began.
Yeah, so the bourbon lovers are not going to like this. I was the opposite. I got into bourbon through Scotch and Japanese whiskey. And it's funny because now if you bring the Asian stuff to a bourbon party, guys are typically not into it. It's just not.
I'll take it.
It's not strong enough for them. If it's not 130 proof, they're not drinking it. They know who they are, too. They know who they are. So one of my buddies, his name's Jesse, who just recently got married, and I need to return the favor. He got married over this COVID stuff, so I actually need to send him a gift, and I'm going to send him a bottle back. But when we moved into our new house, he brought me a bottle of Yamazaki 12-year. And I was like, what is this? And he's like, you're going to love it. It's like one of my favorite things to drink. And now this is a long time ago, right? This is probably, I've been in the house for probably about 12 years or so.
Oh, wow.
And he's like, yeah. He's like, if you ever want some, let me know. It's kind of expensive, though. It's about $60 a bottle. And I was like, yeah, man, that sounds like a little more than I'm going to spend on a bottle of booze. But I was still new to a lot of that stuff, right? By then, I'd only drank probably about 3 or 4 different types of bourbon. And or whiskey in general, I should say. It was like Jack and Southern Comfort, all that normal stuff.
Yeah.
And maybe some Seagrams in there or something. You know, when I was in college, dude, and I'll ask you this, we used to drink Seagram 7 with Sprite Remix. And one time, I think we drank a little bit too much of it, and I cannot stand the taste of Sprite Remix anymore because of it. But what is your bottle that when you started out, you liked it, and then all of a sudden you fell out of love with it for one reason or another?
I forgot. What did my buddy give me on my 21st birthday?
Oh, that'll do it too. Oh God, that'll do it.
Like this was don't get me wrong. I can still do Patron now, but I can't do a force-fed Patron. Like this was a perfectly so 21-year-olds, Baze. Had no idea the difference between chilled and unchilled or anything whatsoever when it came to booze. Spaze now knows that chilled tequila is the only way to go for his palate.
Right, for sure, man.
As a shot, I should say. Because you saw as we were getting ready, I had a nice pour of the Herradura. But shot-wise, which I'm not going to shot something like a Herradura or a Class Azul or anything like that nature. But the first time, when it was like 6 shots in a row, I'm like, I never want to see you. I never want to see that circle-looking, cork-looking bottle ever again. 3 years later, we're at his house, and it's the first bottle he brings out.
Oh, my God.
I'm like, you know what? I'm 24 now. I can do this. Nah, I couldn't.
Gun shy. Still, and shell shocked, right?
Yeah, but it's like it's one of those bottles I can revisit. Now, don't get me wrong, a Neho, a store pick Patron, like for example, Yvonne's store pick Patron, I could drink all day.
I just got Yvonne's store pick Patron. I just bought a bottle last week. I haven't even opened it yet. It's still sitting in a bag in my car, to be honhonest. So I
Make
got
sure you
actually.
get that. I would say make sure you get it out before it's too hot, but we're about to hit the winter.
Yeah, no kidding.
So it's
Yo,
gonna be so for any ride home you need it for.
Yeah, right. Let's talk about this for a second too, while you're on the topic.
Yeah.
What? So okay. So being a restaurant owner, and I love bourbon. I'm a big bourbon guy. You know my collection here. I think I have 60 bottles of bourbon on our list. And then there's another 20 bottles of Japanese, another 10 bottles of Scotch. I mean, we have a lot of whiskey. Just starting to get more into Scotch, but it's a whole nother story. And I have to like a lot of stuff. So I like tequila. I love wine. God, I love wine. And I like bourbon a lot, and I like all the other ones. But there are like certain rules in the bourbon community. You ever notice this? There's certain rules in just the bourbon community where if you do certain things, you're like a pariah. And I've never understood this. If you drink Japanese whiskey with a big ice ball, no one in the Japanese drinking community will say a word to you. And I know that like it mutes the flavors. I know that it makes it easier to drink. I know it proofs it down eventually, or depending on when it goes in and out of the barrel, what it does, right? I get that. But I always drink Japanese with ice. I always drink certain, but if you do that, it's like unheard of.
Almost pound a pound of some people.
And I don't get it. Like, so you don't get all the true flavors out of it, like that you would if it was, if it was just neat. And I know a lot of people that will drink it neat and then add ice to it second, or a couple drops of water.
Yeah.
But man, I always thought just like enjoy the stuff the way you like it. And so you're talking about tequila being chilled. I usually do the same thing. If I'm drinking on ice, I'm usually drinking my tequila, no matter how nice it is, with a little squirt of lime, and call it a day. Especially if it's really salinous and has like that salt flavor to it, just a little squirt of lime. That's how I drink my margaritas, and it's like, man, it's so good that way. It's so good that way.
Yeah, I mean, for me, like ever since I got into bourbon world, like 3-4 years ago, it's tough for me to do anything on the rocks anymore. Like outside of like a chilled shot, I can't do much on the rocks.
No, I still prefer most things on the rocks. Personally, there's some picks, man, that are so hot. I do have to just mellow them out a little bit. Like there's some things that like.
Not just that, but like for example, Adam just said it the most perfect way. It's your bourbon. And with this comment, you can say it's your bourbon, it's your tequila, it's your scotch. It's your spirit. Drink it how you want to drink it.
Do we get any updates? What is everyone drinking tonight, by the way?
No one has said anything, actually.
I don't believe them. I don't believe them.
I know they're drinking. I know Adam's having something. I know Marcus is drinking something. If he's still on, I know damn well he's drinking something.
I know Yvonne's drinking something if he's still there. Yvonne cost me about $200 every time I walk in that freaking door. Sometimes you'll pop by just to say hi to him, and he'll have like 2 more picks. I finished my first drink. I don't know if you know this. Oh, there's Dan. What's up, Dan? Taking care of toddlers. You definitely need something to drink. So I switched over. I have the luxury of having a bartender here with us who is taking care of the cocktail bar here.
I have 5 glasses because I know how this night's going to go. So I'm actually going to jump into my other carryout.
Oh, perfect.
If you want to maybe explain to the lovely people what I'm jumping into.
So
use my hand to...
This is our most popular cocktail by far. It is called our Purple Orchid. We wanted something that was Asian inspired, and like what a name, right? So the Purple Orchid really embodies a lot of what Thai culture is about and the idea behind it. It is a really nice blend. It's got a couple different boozes in it, so it's got a pretty good kick to it for being so easy to drink. It's got gin in it. It's got vodka in it. It's got rum in it. It's got some fresh lime and lemon in it. There's some blue curacao. There's some homemade grenadine and beautiful color. When you order it in the restaurant, it comes garnished with an orchid.
That color is amazing.
Exactly. So Reminds me of an Aviator, which I really like. That creme de violet that they use in it. But that drink is so easy to drink, dude. That's the coolest part about those drinks. They're like a little too easy to drink sometimes. You don't notice it.
Yeah.
So
we got Adam's drinking an OWA Black Walnut Bitter Old Fashioned. Black Walnut Bitters, I don't know about you, but Black Walnut Bitters are my favorite bitter to put in an Old Fashioned. Number 2 for me has to be Aztec Chocolate.
So I'm drinking an Old Fashioned right now.
There you go.
And this one is a recipe that I really love. I think I posted it in the Breakfast Club page last week. This is
the household fashion at Khom Fai, or is it your personal recipe?
No, this is one of our personal recipes. This is my personal recipe. I was just messing with some stuff. This is made with actually with a Von 1792 Foolproof, which packs a humongous punch. It is awesome for this because it does not get lost with simple syrup. It is made with cinnamon simple syrup, and then it gets 2 dashes of orange bitters and 2 dashes of mole bitters. And so you get that cinnamon that matches with the vanilla of the bourbon, and it matches with the molasses that you get that comes through a little bit. And then the mole tastes like Mexican spice cake, right? And that matches with cinnamon so well too. So this one's a killer, man. I've been drinking this one a lot lately, and I love it. So
you said you and your bartender are actually there today.
Oh yeah, one of my bartenders is here today, and I'm here today.
I'm gonna direct the next question to both of you, and it's not one of the questions that I sent to you.
Okay.
So if you want to scream the question off to her, it's okay.
Well, go ahead.
If you had the option, would you still use simple syrup in Old Fashioned, or do you think there's a difference when you use sugar cubes, rather it be white or Demerara?
Gotcha. Okay.
Like, do you see a difference within the two when you're making Old Fashioned?
Yeah, I don't even know if she's around here over. She might be in the back boxing up food right now. If she comes out, I'll bring the question to her. So, okay. So I'm glad you asked this question. We try to do events with the public, and one of the things I've always loved, along with food, is bartending and spirits and the interplay of ingredients. Right? I love the mixology of this particular hobby. And so what we're doing is we're actually going to be hosting, which was delayed. It was supposed to be this week. We're hosting a bartending class, and we're going to just focus on one spirit and talk about it. We're going to make 3 different variations of that same cocktail, and you're going to make them. Stations are set up with all the equipment for you to make them personally, and then we're going to drink them together and talk about them. And I wanted to make them super reasonable. I want to say they're like $35, and it'll be like a couple hour class. I mean, if you came here and ordered 3 cocktails, it would probably cost you $35, right? So, I mean, the rest of it, the class is free. So, but one of the things we're going to be covering is the Old Fashioned in the first class, and talk about the history, where it came from, how it evolved, why we use simple syrup instead of sugar muddled now. And I personally think that when you muddle sugar, unless you have time to sit there and really muddle it down, you're going to get lumps. And so bartenders either pride themselves on making it so that when they muddle down everything, it is completely evaporated, or they don't mind having it be a little chunky and a little more like, a little more raw, or a little more like homemade. But I think for the spirit itself, I think you need to use simple. And whether it's a Demerara syrup, whether it's a gum syrup, whether it's a rock candy syrup, I think it's going to be better for the drink itself in general. If you use that, it's going to dissolve better. Certainly, it's going to mix better. And if we're talking about cocktails, there's so many advancements we've made, right? We're talking about before the Transcontinental Railroad, there wasn't even ice available, so people wouldn't drink with ice. Are you going to be like, oh, I don't put ice in my drinks because the original cocktails didn't have ice? You know, it's like things evolve, and for a good reason, right? We have so much new technology and new recipes and new ways to make cocktails that I think it's actually important that we embrace that sort of thing. And I think syrup is a lot better, in my opinion.
So that's technically a difference in techniques between just me and you alone. Like, to me, I'm going to sit there. I'm going to muddle the crap out of that Demerara sugar until it goes away. or until it's fine enough that when I get that ice and that bourbon in there, I'm okay with it.
Hmm.
But being in a restaurant setting, let's be honest, you're packed. You have 15 tickets behind you.
Hmm.
Are you as a bartender, are you gonna want to go in there and muddle every single old fashioned within those 15 tickets?
Right. There's no
So
time
you
for that.
so at that point, you're better off doing a demerara syrup, a
Hmm.
regular simple syrup, even a vanilla syrup, which. And for those that are watching, if you have any questions, not only about the restaurant industry or cocktails, I have a great feeling between the two of us, especially based on this last 5 minute conversation we're having, that we could answer your cocktail or food questions. And because, like, just right now alone, we learned there's two different ways to make an old fashioned. And between not just the type of bitter you use or the type of syrup you use, it could, this much of a difference could make your old fashioned go from here to here or from here all the way up there.
So we're not even talking too about what we can do with the syrup. That's just
Yeah.
we're talking about the actual science of combining it, right? So think about
Yeah.
this. You're not going to be able to make a cinnamon simple syrup or a raisin simple syrup or a pineapple gum syrup using a cube. Now, on the other end, it makes it
Right.
exciting for bartenders because then they go, you know what, I'm going to figure out how to do it. I'm going to figure out how to
Mhm.
infuse this with this flavor, but not using the syrup because I still want to use the cube. And that's a whole different thing to itself. So, I mean, I respect it. I think it's interesting the different ways you can approach
Yeah.
it. But the science of it for me, man, I'm always like, what is the newest way we can do it? What is the thing we could do to make the drink arts? But there is something to be said for making something classically or originally. It's funny though. It's like, what do you pick though? Do you
Yeah.
where do you stop for the original? Are you making
And
the 70s and 80s style old fashioned with muddled cherries and oranges,
right.
or are you gonna make the original without ice? Are you gonna? I mean, what are you gonna do? So it's kind of interesting takes on it.
Yeah. And at the same time, it's kind of similar to, I think it was Adam who said it earlier. You're drinking your bourbon the way that you want to drink it.
Hmm.
You're going to make your old fashioned the way you want to make it. One thing, and like, just like, for example, you're sitting at home versus you sitting at the restaurant. Two different mindsets, right?
Hmm.
One place you're thinking, how efficient can I be? The second place is, let me look at quality versus quantity.
Hmm.
So even that, like me sitting here at my home bar versus me sitting at the banquet hall that I work at, those are two different mindsets just for me.
Right.
Like at the banquet hall, how fast can I make this drink for 500 people?
Right.
At home, okay, I can take my time. I'm only making three of them.
I'm gonna
So we
actually
gotta,
tune. I gotta tune into your page. You know what I didn't
as
do?
well.
I didn't log in on the page, so I'm going to log in so I can see the questions too as they come up
Yeah,
through the
no worries.
Facebook app, if you don't mind.
Yeah, be my guest. I got I'm pulling them up too as they're coming. A lot of it's just cheers at the moment. But we definitely want to know what's everyone drinking? What questions does everyone have? To be honest, like we both talked a little bit before we started. If this turns into a 2 hour episode, it's a 2 hour episode maybe. We'll see. But
It might be.
hopefully
Get
with
your favorite bottles because we're gonna be here for the long haul.
yeah,
I can already tell.
or at the same time, the amount of time. And again, please look at the ticker below. If you're hungry right now and you're in Shelby or you're willing to drive to Khom Fai, give them a call. Go to khomfai.com, or can they also call to place their orders? Because I know
Yeah,
that's what I did.
yeah.
Either
Call.
go on their website, place an order, or call them and place their order. I know for me, I called and my food was ready in like 15, 20 minutes. Not even, I think. So definitely give them a call, visit them. Let's all support local. Um,
Tuesdays and Wednesdays for sure, man. That's killer. You can get your order on Tuesdays and Wednesdays, 15, 20 minutes all night.
oh yeah,
Easily.
that's great. So I guess one thing I want to do, and I know this is outside of everything we talked about, but I definitely want to revisit the cocktail aspect later on in the show.
Hmm.
But I want to get a little personal now too.
Sure.
If you could have any pour, every single bottle in the world is available to you. Okay, during this scenario, if you could have any pour you want and
Hmm.
have it with anybody you want, what would the pour be, and who are you having it with?
So that's a really interesting question. So there's like a lot of people I think I look up to, but when it comes to like this particular question, when it comes to spirits or which pour do you want to drink with someone, I think I want to drink with an expert. Like, do I think it would be really cool? Like, if you were just like, do I think it would be really cool to have a glass of bourbon with like a celebrity that I like, right? Would it be cool to have a drink with Howard Stern? Would it be cool to have a drink with, one of my favorite wrestlers growing up from the 80s? Would it be cooler to do that? Of course, but those guys, I don't know if I would get much out of sharing that experience with them.
Mm-hmm.
So I would love to probably sit down with a distiller and have that pour. I know when it comes to things like wine, like I would kill to have like a birth year Cabernet from the Bochet Vineyard at Freemark Abbey, and I would love to sit down and have it with the winemaker, right?
Mm-hmm.
That'd be like one of my dream things to do. So if it came to pours, I'd probably love to sit down with someone like, I don't know. I mean, are we talking about in history? Are we talking about people that were alive and dead? I mean, it'd be so cool to sit down with somebody.
You want.
It'd be cool to sit down, obviously, with like Fred No or like one of these guys who's a master distiller forever and have a pour with them. Truthfully, I would love to taste again. We were just talking about it before the show started, man. I would love to taste an Eagle Rare Sugar House Barrel Number 10 pick again. Like, I would love to taste that bottle again. It's my second favorite bottle that I've ever tasted behind probably George Stagg 2018.
Have you had 16 yet?
The 2016 George Stagg? I have not. I have not. And I've been fortunate to this business. I've tried a lot of stuff, expensive bottles I would never pay for myself. We were talking about this too, and I think everyone should kind of get in on this. There's something about the bourbon community that is so giving and kind, and people are willing to share and give you experiences. Like, no joke. Every time I meet a store owner, when I met Yvonne, when I met Steve, Steve Maddie, who does the ordering for Piccolo's, right? When I met Tony for the first time over at
Wine
the Wine Garden, they're like the nicest guys. They're so generous, and for no reason. I don't even live near Tony, and Tony has always been so generous. They're obviously still douchebags in this hobby, but it's very easy to tell who is who right from jump. And so one of the coolest things, man, is sometimes just sharing those pours. And I've had the luxury of sharing some monster pours with guys, and I'm grateful. But my two favorite pours of all time are still the Eagle Rare Sugar House Number 10 and that's 18 Stag. At the bottom, if you ask me like what's at the bottom of my picks, I'd probably say anything by Four Roses is probably at the bottom. Sorry, Joe Riggs. I cannot get into it, man. I've tasted so many bottles. Travis just shared a pour of what is that bottle that they have? The Select, I don't know. That I just can't get into it, man. That's one thing that I'm not very good at.
Yeah. Yeah, so like even just now, Adam commented he would want to have a dusty turkey in a cigar with MJ. But now he wants to follow into the idea that you came up with, having a drink with a master distiller.
Michael Jackson? You'd want to have a drink with Michael Jackson? It's cool. He's the king of pop. He's the king of pop. Adam Pinkerton, that's funny that you just mentioned that too. As far as Dusty's goes, I want to start a Dusty collection for here at the restaurant, but I've only got a couple. And two of them are really exciting. I just opened the bottle last week. I've been holding on to it for years. It is I'm looking at it right now. It's a 1979 Old Forester. And I actually learned through the maker's rep. I don't know if she's watching. Her name's Greta. She is a stud. This woman is a stud when it comes to spirits and how they're made and the history of them and mash bills and recipes and the process. She's awesome to talk with. If you ever get a chance to go to one of her events, which we do events with her a lot, which we'll probably talk about one in a little bit. because Chris already mentioned it. But man, this woman is like awe-inspiring when it comes to how much she knows. And she's telling us about how the oak from that bottle is from, 1870, and the differences between them. Bill Edgerton was there that night. That guy knows a ton about dusty bottles. It was so cool to share with some guys and taste something that was historic. I also have a bottle of Suntory, Japanese whiskey from 1970, which is interesting because I don't actually think it'll taste very good, because back then, I don't know how great it was, but it's at least historic, and I haven't opened it yet. I'll be excited to do that too. So Michael Jordan. Sorry, Adam. Michael Jordan. I didn't realize.
So, I mean, I guess I'll give my answer since everyone gave theirs. And it's obviously like having a pour with the local store owners would be great. Having a pour with just you or other restaurant owners as well would be awesome. But I think my number one answer, and I think I gave the same answer when Chris asked me to fire back, is Wayne Gretzky, Gordie Howe, Steve Yzerman.
Big hockey guy.
Yeah, I mean, I want to, because those are three different generations of hockey right there. And you have to think, was the way of getting into the NHL the same?
What if they have terrible taste? What if they have terrible taste in booze?
That's the thing. If the drink is with them and it's not someone bourbon related, I am going with something like Tim's favorite, a Dickel, or I'm doing a Eagle Rare, where it's the conversation really isn't about booze, even though we're drinking it. It's about the up and coming within the NHL. If I'm giving a bourbon answer, all day, every day, Al Young.
Yeah. Oh, I shouldn't have said all that stuff about Four Roses. Sorry. Listen, if Steve Yzerman came up to you and said, "Oh man, I love Lusty Claw," you're telling me you wouldn't be a little bit turned off by that?
I would, but here's the thing: if he's willing to give me, if I'm drinking a Lusty Claw, if he's willing to give me 10 minutes of his time and no more, no less, I'm cool with it.
Yeah, for sure. For sure, man. Did you see Marcus? He just wrote that he would love to have a glass with the Undertaker. Dude.
And he actually just retired yesterday. Sunday.
Hey, which Undertaker, Marcus, which Undertaker would you like to have a drink with? Would you want the original Undertaker with purple gloves? Do you want the Dead Man Undertaker from the mid-'90s, early 2000s? Or do you want the American, what do he call himself? The American bad boy. What do you call himself? The I don't remember. Yeah. From the late 2000s. I personally would love to do it too, only if Paul Bearer came along, because I want to know what's in that urn, man. I want to know what's in that urn.
So here's another answer. We got Matt Shimmy, bourbon, GTS 2018 with Tom Izzo. Scotch. You want to do black art with Jim McConnell.
Yo, Matt, go green, go white, dude. I actually graduated from Michigan State in 2007 with a bachelor's in English, and I was going to go into teaching. And you can see how that worked out for me, being here at the restaurant now. Izzo was awesome while we were there, man. He was the nicest guy. If you ever went to camp out to get tickets and stuff for the season, he went around, took pictures with everyone, hung out, was really awesome.
You could probably answer this question. Did Taker do a Hot Ones episode?
Yo, yeah, he did. I saw it.
Yeah, I think I just saw it.
It showed up on my YouTube feed. So here's what my YouTube feed is. My YouTube feed is like people making ramen. My YouTube feed is so funny. Is old matches of the Midnight Express from the 1980s with Jim Cornette as their manager. My YouTube feed is sometimes chess strategy, and then it is The Undertaker eating Hot Ones. So yeah, he actually did. I haven't seen it yet, but I saw the thumbnail of it, and I have to check it out still. So
I should have bought more than 2 of those cocktails, by the way, because now I got to move on to tequila or bourbon.
I'm with you, dude. I'm with you. I'm trying to figure out what I'm gonna drink next, actually, when this runs out. My wife is in the chat, by the way. I can see her in here. She signed in, which is very exciting.
What I should have done is had you actually start rattling off bottles that you have bourbon wise, and when I finish this tequila, I will switch over to that bottle as long as I have it somewhat readily available. Because I have a bunch of bottles hidden in the back of my cabinet. So
Yeah, you tell me what you got. I have a lot of stuff, a lot here.
what I should have done when I came to pick my order earlier is I should have brought you a sample of our breakfast club Woodford, because I think that's what I'm gonna jump to after this if we can't figure out a bottle. Actually, we talked earlier. I'm gonna drop off a few things to you tomorrow. So when I do that, I'll drop the sample off to you.
That'd be awesome. Yeah, Spas is awesome. He said he was going to help us out. So I don't mean to jump into this, but we were just talking
no,
about
be my guest.
in the restaurant, we have to come up with new ideas, new innovations every day, especially when you can only do carry out. So tomorrow is the biggest bar night of the year, and no one's going to be at the bar. And we said, well, how can we make this a better experience, a full experience? So one of the things we're going to be doing tomorrow, and we're going to arrange this tonight, is we're going to be doing wine flights to take home with you. So instead of drinks in the bag, you'll get wine in each of the bags, and we'll mark them for you, and you can kind of taste some different things with your food. They'll be pre-prepared. We'll probably do a white version and a red version just to make it easy for you. And then we're going to do a bourbon flight the same way. We were talking about doing bourbon flights when we came back to dine-in. We have such a big collection. There's so many good ways to do it. You can do it by theme, like East meets West, like Chris was talking about earlier. You can do it different iterations. We'll probably do a Makers one. I'm like falling in love with Makers more and more that I drink it. It's funny. It used to be like KJ. It used to be like Kendall Jackson wines to me, where I thought to myself, like, this is such a big conglomerate brand. It can't be that good. People always say this or drink this, so I'm going to stay away from this. And the more I drink it, the more I realize, like, man, I'm missing out. Like drinking a bottle of Kendall Jackson Chardonnay, just because you can get it for like $15 at the store, doesn't mean it's bad Chardonnay. And then the more you find out about the history of it, how it's made, and why it's inexpensive compared to other things, but why it tastes so good, you like start to appreciate. So Makers is one of those things I'm starting to appreciate more and more. So whether we do like a wheated version with the Makers 46, and then we do the regular, I have behind me, I don't know if you can see it back there.
You should tell everyone the first thing I pointed out when you jumped on, when you were getting ready for everything.
Yeah, you're like, is that the barrel stave bottles? So we have the barrel stave.
There's actually a lot of people commenting saying that it's a great idea to do the bourbon flights. So I don't know if maybe you want to give a little teaser on what potentially starts soon enough based on what you told me, or if you want to maybe.
So tomorrow, yeah, so we're gonna do it tomorrow. So we have these. This is kind of cool. I don't know. Okay, so you guys may have seen this bottle. This is the 2020 limited release. These are the Barrel Stave Project. This is the SE4 by PR5. And so if you guys don't know, Makers will take your barrel, which is a full barrel, and if you ever do your own store pick, they'll give you these toasted staves, and they put them on a giant key ring. And you get to pick. And each stave, I believe there's 5 of them. And I don't want to say too much in case I wasn't supposed to say anything yet. But they're actually replacing one of the classic staves with a new one. And so you get different flavors depending on how many you put in of each different kind. And you get to pick how many staves of each kind you put in to make these different flavors. Kind of cool process.
Yeah. For those that don't know, just a little backstory on Private Select itself. In each Private Select, just like Isaiah just said, there's 10 staves. Of those 10 staves, you can pick as 10 of the 5 variants that are available. What those 5 variants are potentially does change year to year, like you just mentioned. So you could do 5, and I believe one of the options is a mocha stave. I don't know if it's still here this year. I don't know if it isn't. I don't want to say yes or no. Greta's a better person to ask that to, but
I think the mocha stave is the one that's gone. I think it's on its way out.
Yeah, for example, that mocha stave could be 6 mocha, 4 something else, and that's it. That's your Private Select. And we actually just got 2 people comment, just so you know. Bill Kelly commented that he's very interested in a bourbon flight and he'd love to bin one. And Tara Johns just commented saying that she'll be there tomorrow for a bourbon flight if they're available.
I love it, man. I appreciate that very much. Bill's always been a friend of ours and always helped us out. And man, we'd love to have Tara out for that too. But yeah,
So, are they available at a certain time? Do you think they're going to happen tomorrow? Are they still in the works? Are they
no,
not?
we'll 100% have at least 2 flights, bourbon flights, available for you to taste. And to be honest, it just depends on what time Spasa gets here with the bottles.
That's true.
So I'm going.
No pressure.
I'll do a maker's version for sure. I gotta
So
see
I
what.
will give a heads up. I do have to go to Secretary of State tomorrow. So if it's how people have been telling me, I might get there around closing. I might not. I'm just kidding.
No, we'll have it. If, at the very least, you can get them out of something else besides that. But
Yeah.
so we will do a maker's one for sure. We'll do a 46. We will do. Oh my God! You know what I have? I have a maker's 101. Okay,
Ooh.
let's do it. Okay, let's do it. Tomorrow, I'm going to do a maker's 46. I'll do a maker's 101, and
Should I
then
be writing this down for you so you remember? Or
no. I think I have another bottle of this SE4 by PR5 Stay Profile. So we'll do one limited release, one of the 46 and one of the 101. You're getting 2 pretty limited bottles, which would be kind of fun.
I'll also been that flight, by the way.
Perfect, because this is all the RC6 I have left. So this thing is so freaking good. If you never had the RC6, all it is 10 virgin toasted American oak staves as the stay profile, and it is like delicious. So
Have you ever done that side by side with the 2020 release?
yes, and to be honest,
What are your thoughts?
okay, so they're both very good. I prefer the 2019, but it's not fair because if you only had one, you're not going to be disappointed with the 2020 at all. Like not even close. But if you side by side, you ask me which one I like better, the 2019. 2019 has a little bit of spiciness to it,
Okay.
and I'm not like a huge spice guy or like a rye guy. But that one has spiciness to it and noticeable sweetness to it. The 2020, if I remember correctly, it says notes of vanilla, baking spices, and creamy caramel, which is pretty typical, I think, for any bourbon. But it was good, and I've had it several times. But I do prefer the 2019 for sure.
Yeah.
For sure.
So, Adam, for your sake, just switch over to a Blanton Story from the barrel.
I got one in the back. It's not open yet. I might switch over to it with you, bud, but I'm also wondering if it'll be worth $500 in about a year from now. So who knows?
The way it's going, you never know.
It's nuts, man. Like this secondary market is nuts. I was just in. Are we allowed to talk about other pages here? I was just in Bourbon Lovers, the page BLMC.
Yep.
And someone was asking about Weller Special Reserve. You guys had to have seen that post. Talking about Weller Special Reserve. And he said, is it worth the $120 price tag someone had on the bottle? And everyone was like, no, don't do it. And some people were like, hey, if you got the money to do it and you want to buy it, buy it. And it's like, man, as much as I don't have an opinion about how people spend their money, it's none of my business. That mentality is so, I think, detrimental to people who are new. He's obviously very new to the bourbon game. He said it himself in a post. The answer should be is that there are bottles that are much better for less.
Yeah.
Don't get caught up in missing out on bottles that people say are great. And I give Adam a hard time for drinking blends. He obviously has way more access to it over there across the border. He's helped me out.
If he wants to ship any, I'll take a gold. Probably we'll see what happens.
He's great too. He before all the border stuff and everything, he helped me out and is a very nice guy. But it's like, man, if that's what it's down to, if it's a Weller Special Reserve for $120, it's like, don't go taste everything else there is. Find stuff you fall in love with. I told him I didn't tell him come to this restaurant. I said go to a restaurant, find someone's got it. I think we have it, and I think we have it for like $7 a pour.
Oh wow!
Try it, and then you'll realize, man, I'm glad I didn't spend $120 in this bottle because it's fine. But for $60, I can have an Old Forester 1920. Hello, like that's a no contest to me.
Yeah, I mean, at the same time, like, I'll bring this up. One of my buddies that I know on Instagram, he's known as the Bourbon Shelf.
Okay.
And he actually released a shirt earlier this summer that says "Defund the Secondary."
Right. That makes sense.
Exactly what we're talking about now is like the key to any conversation almost. Like, don't get me wrong. Like, some secondary pricing is great, some isn't. Um, but like, if you can afford what secondary is, be my guest. I'm not. No one's gonna stop you. No, nobody should be thread shitting you, and it is what it is. You want to buy it? Be my guest. Someone just did a hashtag defund the secondary. And
Hey,
actually, now that someone commented, he is getting ready to do another release of that shirt,
mhm.
and I'll try working with him to see if he can make any available from me to potentially give away or to offer to people of the Booze Nest or the Breakfast Club.
Mm-hmm.
But I guess I'm not sure if you have anything else to say about secondary. If you do, be my guest. But I was actually going to jump into our next question, if it was okay with you.
Yeah, no, go ahead. Okay, I'll just put to rest. I'll just say this.
Yeah.
There are bottles that are worth everything is worth something to someone. If you've got so much money to blow that you don't care, fine.
Mm-hmm.
It doesn't matter. Like I said, it's none of my business what you spend your money on.
No.
But when you find a bottle of Midwinter Night's Dram for $100 or $110, that to me is a no-brainer at secondary
Mm-hmm.
pricing. It's not outrageous, right?
No,
If
it's
you
what, $5, $10 more than what it really is.
Exactly. So if you find bottles that are harder to get for over, like my first bottle, Elmer T. Lee, I think I paid $50 for, and I
Mm-hmm.
think that's over. At the time, I think it was only a $35 or $40 bottle.
It's still
I'm
a
happy to spend
$38 bottle.
15. Yeah, oh, right. I'm happy to pay $15 over for something like that.
Excuse me.
But the disconnect on the Weller product brand and Sazerac is a genius for this. Sazerac is making all their bottles skyrocket. And I don't know what it is because it's pretty good product, especially for beginners. Especially if people are new, it's easy to drink. But I don't understand why the prestige of Blanton's for people who drink a lot of bourbon. I don't understand the prestige of an Antique 107, even a Weller 12. I think it's going for $200 secondary now. I don't get it. It's one thing to spend $10 over, $20 over. It's another thing to spend $100.
But you also have to remember, since we are somewhat of a controlled state, we're only getting X amount of that 12, which at some point, yes, I agree that could skyrocket a price difference for a Weller 12 or a 107 or a WSR. But to me, just like you just said, it's only to an extent. Like, but at the same time, we're all gonna spend our money the way that we want to spend it, and that's how
Mhm.
it works, and that's it. Um, but I know we're gonna kind of get back into bourbon soon.
Mhm.
Do you still have a drink in hand? Do you have to ask the bartender to make you
I
another one?
do. I'm gonna have to get. I'm almost out. Let's do this too, man. Now that we're talking about it, let's put our money where our mouth is, right? I don't know what we'll do it
Yeah.
for. Let's give away a bottle of Weller Special Reserve to one of your viewers or fans.
Let's do it.
Let's post this wherever you post this in your pages,
Yeah.
and then we'll give some simple instructions. Maybe it'll be like Khom Fai's page, dude. I really don't need to do more than that.
Yeah, we'll do follow Khom Fai, follow Booze Nest. You
That's
qualify
it.
in the giveaway. They have a 1 week to sign up.
That's it. And then I'll give you a bottle of WSR from us because I'm fortunate enough to be on the allocation list. And honestly, it's a $25 bottle that costs $25, drinks like $25. That way, some people who have never had a chance, maybe especially,
Yeah.
can try and see what they're up against. But I'm happy
You
to
know
do
what?
that. So,
This is what I'm gonna do too. Since you're doing that, we're
and
gonna
we didn't
add
plan
another.
this.
We're gonna create a second place winner, so to say.
Okay.
The grand prize could potentially be the WSR,
Okay.
so to say. I'm gonna add to that grand prize, but I'm gonna talk to you offline to see what I could potentially do.
Okay.
Actually, you know what? Here's what I'll do.
Oh boy. we honestly haven't talked about this, so now I'm nervous. Don't give away too much here.
I'm gonna take
I have a
that
lot of
WSR. I'm gonna add another WSR on my side.
Okay.
And for the second place winner, I'm gonna throw in a 3-pack sampler. And that's how we're gonna roll.
Wait a minute. You're giving away 2 bottles of WSR to the first place person? No, don't do that. Let's do this. Let's do 1 for first place, 1 for second place, and a 3-pack sample for third. That way
We can do that. Yeah,
people
let's do that.
No one needs 2 bottles of WSR, believe me. I've got
let's do that.
box
We
them in
can
the
do
back.
that.
Hey, Amanda Jade, are you still here? Can you make me a classic daiquiri, please? I'm gonna do a daiquiri next, and then I'll switch to some bourbon to round it out.
There you go.
If
So
I
to
love
repeat,
yeah, please.
we are giving away 2 bottles of WSR and a 3-pack sampler. First place gets one of the 2 WSRs. Second place gets another WSR. 1 each, not 2 each.
It's as good as first.
Third place will get a 3-pack sampler of samples from the Booze Nest collection. We are going to ball out. We are probably going to figure out some type of flyer for this at this point.
Now we gotta do something.
Maybe not a flyer, or at least some type of instruction page. And the winner will be drawn. Let's do this. Are you available? I'm not adding.
Spot say, take it easy. You're gonna empty yourself out over there.
Are you available December 1st or 2nd to jump back on with me to just run the giveaway?
What day of the week is that?
That's a Monday, or that's a Tuesday or Wednesday?
Tuesday and Wednesday, I'm available, both.
How about Monday?
Monday.
Actually, no, we're gonna do Tuesday or Wednesday. Yeah,
Tuesday, Wednesday.
Forget that idea. We're gonna do either Tuesday or Wednesday, and we are gonna draw the winner a week from today or a week from tomorrow.
Okay.
We will figure out those logistics after we jump off,
Mm-hmm.
and we're just gonna roll with it that way.
Let's do it.
Expect the contest rules to be released on Breakfast Club and on Booze Nest and probably on Khom Fai as well by tonight or tomorrow morning. Ooh, someone just came out with a beautiful idea.
What? It'll be easy too, you guys. I don't need. Yeah. I'm not into that. I just want to.
Yeah, it's gonna be very simple. It's maybe we're gonna spend one day double checking a few things, and we're gonna have a winner. But
bring me a Glencairn too when you come back, please.
Here's one idea. Khom Fai and Booze Nest Glencairn.
We're doing all the crossovers today. Let me show you some really cool Glencairns I have here at the store.
So here's one thing I'm gonna say about Glencairns.
Hey, this is Amanda Jade, by the way. Hold on, let her say hi.
Oh.
Can you come on the?
She still has to answer that question we asked earlier too.
Oh yeah. So think about this. Spase asked. He wants your answer, Amanda Jade. Think about it. He said, "Do you prefer to use simple syrup or to use like a classic sugar cube that's muddled down?" And then you have to tell us why too. So think about it and let me know what your answer is.
I'm gonna say simple syrup.
Oh, you're gonna come over here. They can't hear you. Okay, Amanda Jade, what were you saying?
I'm gonna say simple syrup strictly because of the fact that I have not tried anything with the sugar cube yet. So because we don't have those. But.
Okay.
You heard it there first.
There we go. Now I feel like.
Okay, here we go. Classic daiquiri in a cocktail coupe. Cheers, sir.
Cheers, brother.
This is one of my favorite cocktails of all time. There are 2 cocktails in my mind that are the perfect cocktails, and unfortunately, neither of them involve bourbon. They involve rum and they involve gin. So this, to me, is perfectly balanced between tart and sweet and booze forward, and then the other one has to be a French 75 because
now you're speaking my language.
Yes, because it's floral. It's floral. It's booze forward. It's perfectly balanced, and it's bubbly. Man, I love bubbles so much.
We're doing bottle kills, ladies and gentlemen. We're doing bottle kills.
Speaking of Glencairns,
yeah. So when I was
message.
When I was in, we actually have a few answers to the question too. So Joe says sugar cube. I believe Lindsay's your wife. She says simple syrup. So we're glad you guys are on the same page and not.
My wife knows. I'm gonna tell you something right now. My wife is never wrong. Joe Farrington said sugar cube. Joe Farrington's old-fashioned guy. I get that. Look, how cool are these, by the way? I just had these done.
Badass.
And the guy that did these, they're like so much darker and pronounced than the old ones. The old ones like look like they were gonna rub off. These are beautiful.
Yeah. We're gonna have to talk. I'm gonna need that contact. So for those that are watching on the Booze Nest or Breakfast Club, I am within the next few months getting ready to do Canadian Glencairns or regular Glencairns for the Booze Nest. Isaiah, I'm going to ask you, do you know the difference between the two?
I've seen a whole bunch of them. If you showed me it, I'm sure I would recognize it.
I'm waiting for my samples to get shipped. Otherwise, I'd show. I don't have any
Yeah,
Canadian Glens at home.
when they get there, or bring one up on the screen and show me what it looks like. Yo, Kathy Gadzinski just joined us. Kathy Gadzinski, her husband founded a local Michigan beer page, and it's an awesome page. I know they're beer drinkers. I wanted to ask her if she's listening right now. Do you drink? Do you drink spirits too? Do you drink bourbon and whiskey? And what's your favorite? I'm curious to see what she says, because they're big beer people. They're big bourbon barrel beer people. And they helped me. Like, the reason I mention it is because they helped me get into beer like a ton, man.
Right. So for those that don't know, I'm getting ready to toss it on the screen for you as well. Sorry. For those that don't know, this that I'm about to show is a Canadian Glen. The ones that I'm potentially considering do have a little bit wider of a lip. I don't know if you can see it yet. Here it comes.
I see it.
So they do have a little bit wider of a lip in the ones that I'm showing or that I plan on doing. Potentially. I don't want to say yes or no to it yet. But it's a little bit easier on the nose.
I don't want to sound pretentious. Don't the Glencairns concentrate more of the smell into your nose, though? When you have a flared lip like you do on the Canadian style, doesn't kind of more of that go into the ether, which there's nothing wrong with.
Yes.
It probably is easier to smell.
Yeah, you're 100% right when you say that, too.
Joe Farrington said on the fly simple syrup, and Joe Farrington is obviously has some relationship to the restaurant business, because on the fly simple syrup has saved us and been made. That's all we make now. Even if we are prepared and have time before shift starts, on the fly simple syrup is the best. We have a coffee maker that does hot water, and obviously it's different when we want to do any infusions. We have a handful of simple syrup infusions, but man, on the fly simple syrup has saved us so much.
So have you ever tried the proof cocktail kits that are being a huge craze right now?
I haven't done them. Have you? What are they? What are they exactly?
It's actually a brand called Proof.
Oh, I don't know.
Does like simple syrup cocktail kits, and I've really been thinking about diving into them, but it's one of those, all right, I'll do it when I can type of things. Because let's be honest, at some point your collection gets to what it is, and that's kind of where you want it to stay when it comes to bitters or syrups or whatnot. But that's kind of like where at least I am. Like, if I showed you how many bitters I have right now, if I were to buy everything so right now I have 6 bitters that are empty. So I have to be honest there. But if I were to buy all the bitters that I usually have in my house, and this is just my house, you probably have more at the bar maybe. I have 16 different bitters.
They're expensive. Here's the thing. They're expensive. And like when we're at the restaurant, we have to buy them by the case, right? So you spend like, maybe people don't think it's expensive, but like you spend like 120, 150 bucks on bitters every time you order them. Now, that's a lot of money. Now they're going to last you a long, long time because you're only using drops. So we concentrate our bitters into like a handful that we use more than anything else. Man, you got Kathy Murphy in the chat too. This woman is, she works for Michigan by the Bottle as one of her jobs. And she is like awesome when it comes to wine, man. You have, Joe Farrington is a bar owner as well. Yeah. Isn't it out in Chelsea? Joe, where's your bar at?
Joe, actually, we're gonna talk about getting you on here too, so we can hear about your place.
Yeah, dude, you have people in the industry watching right now that are a wealth of knowledge, and it is so cool to see this kind of community come together. It's like,
absolutely.
Oh, it's awesome, man! Awesome what you're doing with this.
Yeah. So I think what's very what we should maybe mention again, especially now that we see how many new viewers are on, we have a giveaway. We have a first place
that we just gave up.
WSR. We have a second place winner of another WSR, and a third place winner that will win 3 to 5 2-ounce samples from the Booze Nest collection. Some will be picks that I've been involved in. Some will actually be Michigan Breakfast Club picks, and we're gonna go from there. Um, let's be honest, it's a giveaway. You're not gonna be picky about it. You're gonna win. You win. The rules will be out there probably tonight or tomorrow morning.
Yo, the bottle just dropped, right? I'm waiting. I got to pick up my Michigan Breakfast Club. I got to pick up the freaking.
That's right. You got to pick up the Elijah Craig.
The Elijah Craig. I'm so pumped. You guys did a pick that was $33 freaking dollars.
Yeah.
I remember someone saying like they all taste the same to me. It's like the picks do not taste the same to me. I've had several different ones that all taste different. At $33, man, it's such a nice relief from having to spend $60, $70, $80, $100 on a pick.
Yeah.
I was happy to jump on it. Yo, Murph, I see in there that you said you're drinking a bourbon cocktail now. So whenever Murph comes into the restaurant, she orders an old fashioned, and we do different variations for her. She made a cranberry simple syrup. Can you drop the recipe in the chat?
I was about to say the exact same thing.
In case anyone wants to try it, man. She's got good taste. You know what else I've been drinking, dude? And I might switch to it next.
And at the same time, Joe, if you want to mention the name of your place as well, for anyone that is in Lyons, Michigan, that maybe wants to visit, be my guest. You're more than welcome to. There's no rules about helping yourself promote.
Oh, it's all love, Joe, dude. Yeah, let people know, man. Everyone,
let people know where you are. Anything you need to that I can maybe help with, let me know.
Yo, this industry needs help. This guy owns a bar. Joe, were you able to be open during the shutdown when all the bars were closed? Did you do enough in food revenue that you're allowed to be open? Because I'm telling you, dude, I know so many bar owners and gym owners and restaurant owners who are talking to me every day, and they're in trouble. This isn't like we're very fortunate. We're able to let our carryout pull us through. There's so many people who don't have that luxury, man. There's so much food that doesn't translate into carryout, or the different concepts that are beautiful to dine in, but they just don't carry out, and they're in trouble. And there's no relief coming from the state. There's no relief coming at the national level. And this isn't political, because I personally don't care for either side of the aisle. I'm not a Democrat nor a Republican. But what I can tell you is that those people have failed us. They just went to recess and went on vacation instead of passing any sort of stimulus for the people that are trying to keep themselves open. It is insane. And so guys like Joe who have a bar, yes, food, good. So Joe is able to stay open. Thank God, dude. I know so many people have already closed, and it is so sad to see. These people put their heart and souls into restaurants. They live their entire lives. People that own restaurants don't get to work 40 hours a week and go home. Yeah. Right? When I opened the restaurant here, we've been in business now more than 10 years. I worked 100-hour weeks for 2 years. My wife could attest to it. We missed I think I had 6 days off a year for holidays, and that was it. And now I think that some people, that stuff's gone, man. It's just so sad.
Yeah. So now that you kind of walked into the next question, and it's a perfect segue, and I definitely want to continue this portion of the conversation, because for the next week or 2 weeks or 3 weeks, technically, I mean, you never know. It might be even longer. How do you think, and for those of you in the comments that own restaurants or are in the industry, feel free to give your own answer to this question as well. But how has the pandemic affected not only Khom Fai personally for you, but the rest of the service industry, in your opinion? And what do you think people outside of those industries can do to help?
So it's funny. I think people have gotten used to how the world is, and so they don't realize how much of a struggle it still is for the restaurant industry. It's bad. It's still bad. You have bartenders now. It's carry out. What's a bartender going to do? And if they work the food side of it, it's not like it was before. And these people are working very hard to make sure that they keep their places afloat. Like right now, there's so many places. I just did a podcast a little while ago on the state of the restaurant industry, and one of the owners from one of the restaurant groups downtown was saying the same thing. It doesn't matter if you own 7 or 8 restaurants. It doesn't matter if you own one. Everyone is fighting right now, and it's hard. So I don't know. I don't know if this will be lifted when they say it will be. I honestly don't put too much stock into guessing much because,
Yeah,
I mean, think it's irrelevant.
I'll be honest. I have my opinion on what I think is going to happen, but I'm also not going to voice it at the same time because I don't want to be that guy that calls in and everyone's like, "Oh, well, you were right, but now I dislike what you think was going to happen, even though it happened."
Right, and we don't know anything.
Even and Marcus kind of just commented too. This could potentially be the extinction of a restaurant business if things don't change.
So it'll obviously look different when we're done. So nothing's ever going to stop restaurants, and people will start restaurants up again afterwards. But that, man, there's so many people who are on such slim margins that are just getting by. Those people are all going to be wiped out. That's easy.
So yeah, and at the same time, just like Kathy just said, if you're gonna get a carry out, tip, because for some places that one order might be the only order they see that day if
Right.
their kitchen's open.
Right.
So people can't jump back into the unemployment they could have back in April, May, or June. Like
Right.
this is a 3-week pause, and especially with how busy unemployment is right now, I don't see a lot of bartenders or servers jumping in to sign up for unemployment when they have to wait potentially 3 or 4 weeks to even get an answer. And like just like Adam just said, just buy takeout, support your local businesses. That's the biggest opportunity anyone has. And like he even just said again as well, he doesn't see any, and this is his opinion, I think, February. I'll tell you right now, I work at GM and they're telling us that they don't see us going back into the office until at least July.
It's crazy,
Now,
man.
do I hope that changes? Yes. Do I hope everyone gets back to normal? Yes. I mean, let's be honest. For those of you that are watching, and I really didn't want to get too personal today, but now I'm going to. You're staring at 2 people that tested positive.
Right.
Like
There's something weird about
me,
it. Hey,
yeah,
there's
like
something weird about it.
yeah, like I was lucky. I work from home. I didn't have to miss time, and I probably got the mildest of symptoms ever.
So now that we're a couple weeks into this, I'm a couple drinks into this, I'll open up to you guys. We'll talk a little bit about what the reality is, what's going on. So one, it is something so strange about getting COVID. I got messages from, no joke, probably about 30 people asking me what my symptoms were, how I felt, and confided in me that they have also gotten COVID, what to expect. They just needed some peace of mind because no one knows what's going on. And I'm not gonna make it political, and I'm not gonna say if anyone's right or wrong. That's not what this is about. But the truth is, this thing is very real. It spreads pretty quickly, and it sucks really bad. And if you are fortunate enough to have no symptoms, like, God bless you. But when you're in the restaurant industry and you lose your taste for a couple weeks and you don't know if it's going to come back, and I hear horror stories about chefs who still haven't gotten it back after 3, 4, 5 months, it's like really terrifying. When your 5-year-old daughter has 103-degree fevers for a couple nights, it's really terrifying. And when your employees are afraid to come into work, or they're testing every day and they wonder if their tests are early enough because they've been exposed or around people that have it, it's like really scary stuff, man. And so for all the people out there that are telling me it's just a cold, like, I hope if you ever get it, it's just a cold for you. And I hope
exactly how I just said too, like what you had compared to what I had. Those were 2 totally different spectrums.
Mm-hmm.
Like you lost your taste, you went the whole 9 yards. Some of your family even got it worse than you did.
Mm-hmm.
For me, and I'm very fortunate to say this, it only felt like I had a tickle in my throat and I just coughed and had a headache for a day. And then my headache and my cough disappeared 2 or 3 days later. But that just means I was the fortunate side of it. There's people that we potentially know personally that are going through it even worse. And I understand some people are saying, you know what? I'm sick of wearing a mask. I'm sick of doing this. I'm sick of doing that. I don't even think a mask works. Mm-hmm. You're entitled to your opinion. But when you're walking into a public setting, correct me if I'm wrong, you have to abide by those rules.
Your opinion is your opinion. It's going to be meaningless, though, if your opinion affects me. If something happened, like, I can't get over this enough. I see it too much. If one more person quotes another study about how many people are actually dying from it, I'm going to freak out. They have no idea what they're up against. Like, it sounds so dumb. Like, I don't miss work. I don't ever get sick. Like, I legit do not call off work because I'm never sick. And I don't know if it's because I have no choice and my mind knows that. And I honestly believe that your mind controls your body that way. I have not been sick in so long. And I have headaches every single day from COVID. Since then, I should say. I don't know if it's from it, but is it a coincidence that I never got headaches before and now I have one every single day since I've gotten it? Like, come on. And, we did the quarantine. I had to close for 2 weeks. Let's talk about some of this stuff, too. People don't understand. They think their actions are their actions and they're entitled to only what they do. But the truth is, I don't know anyone that's ever had COVID. Someone gave it to me. I literally do not know anyone that's ever had COVID. Someone gave it to me. I'm around all my employees. I had to close the restaurant for 2 weeks.
And at the same time, you're not only considering yourself at that point, and I don't want to sound naive when I say it this way, but not only were you out of business for that day and you're losing money at that point, but you're also looking into the fact that you alone tested positive is 2 weeks that your employees were not working, 2 weeks that they potentially couldn't support.
So
and at the same time, it's not like don't get me wrong though. For me, if I owned a restaurant and someone were to come out to me and say, you know what, I'm sorry, we have to close 2 weeks because of this, I'm gonna be humble about it. I'm gonna be thankful that you are responsible about it. But for someone to fire back at you and say, well, shit, now I'm out of a paycheck for a week and a half or 2 weeks, that to me is the part that doesn't sit well. Now,
hey, those people would be completely entitled to that opinion because me getting COVID has nothing to do with them. So let me make this very clear too.
Yes,
I have a responsibility as a business owner to make sure my people get paid, and I do my best. We paid our people through COVID, so we were closed for 2 weeks, just so people understand the ramifications of what they're doing. So whenever I see someone say like, "Oh, I'm not wearing a mask. I don't wear it. It's uncomfortable." Oh, it's just a cold. It's not going to hurt you. Oh, only 99.97% people, they don't die. My restaurant closed for 2 weeks. That cost me $45,000 in sales. It cost me $20,000 in payroll because I paid my staff through it. How many times do you think a restaurant or any business can afford to do that before they don't have any money left? Yeah. And then we're not even talking about health at this point. What if I brought that home to my family and then my in-laws watch my kids and my mom or my in-laws, God forbid, get sick? They don't have the same immunities as young people. They're not as strong as young people. Then what? Then all of a sudden that tiny percentage that you talk about is your percentage that doesn't mean anything is like a really big deal. And I'm gonna have I have a problem with that, to be honest. So I don't know. I hate to be so candid about it, but the problem is sometimes we're oftentimes too nice about what's going on. And the truth is, just because it doesn't affect you doesn't mean it doesn't affect other people. And
I mean, at the same time, like I'm young enough where I'm like, oh, okay, if I'm careful, I'm not gonna get it. But guess what? I did.
Right.
And like I had friends over like a few days before I tested positive because I had no idea what was going on and I had no symptoms then. Like I had them over on a Sunday. I tested positive that following Friday. And my symptoms didn't start until like that Thursday.
Right.
So the second I got symptoms, the next day I tested. And out of respect to those friends that came over, the first thing I did was say, hey, I have no idea when I got it. I have no idea how I got it, but this happened.
Right.
But I want to transition real quick into Khom Fai again. And of course, we can continue this conversation in a second.
Sure.
But I kind of want to jump into Khom Fai and the business and everything else going on with you guys. And not just that, but I also want to ask if you were given a perfect, or let me phrase it this way. I walk into your restaurant.
Okay.
Your server sits me down. You come up to say hi to me. And you said, what are you guys ordering? And I said, owner's choice. And I also told you, you have the opportunity to pick what I drink. What is your perfect food and spirit combo at Khom Fai if we're ordering the Isaiah special.
So I don't know if Spasse, I don't know if you're gonna like this. You
Be my
okay?
guest.
I'm gonna give a little bit of the behind the curtain for everyone watching at home. You sent me a list of questions ahead of time. I did not read them because I want the questions to be candid and I want my answers to be honest. I didn't want them to sound too weird. So with you saying that, I'm gonna think for a second. Now here's what I'm gonna tell you right now. You said Spirit, my best pairing here overall with almost all the food.
And that's the reason I ask you that way, because it does not have to be bourbon.
Right. So my best pairing right now, and Kathy already knows my answer to this, is going to be a Gewürztraminer, which is a German-inspired wine, white wine that is a little off dry and usually fruit forward. That is going to pair well with all of my food. Gewürztraminer is sweet enough that it's going to balance out the spiciness of curry. It is, look, Kathy, right, Gewürz. It is delicate enough that it can hang with crab rangoons that have cream cheese inside. It can run with most salads and other appetizers that we have, and it is just a killer pairing. It is actually the least marked up bottle on my wine list because it is the best pairing and I want people to experience it. With that being said, no one orders the Gewürz with their meals, and I do not know why. That kills me. If you're going to ask me for...
I would have ordered them.
I'm telling you, it's a killer. When this all settles down, you come in. We'll pour some stuff and taste some stuff. I'm telling you, because you have to have the whole experience. If it comes to other stuff, if you're going to do straight bourbon with any of your meals, I would honestly pair the bourbon with a brown sauce, which is a little more savory, which is smoky, which is mushroom, which is soy-based. Or I would pair with dessert, or I would pair it with our Colby-style spare ribs with like a Korean barbecue sauce that we make that we put on it, because that's going to hold up.
Ribs are money.
Thank you. It's going to hold up. The smokiness is going to hold up, and it's going to go against bourbon pretty well. Bourbon is pretty overpowering, and we keep teasing it, and I'm going to talk about it before we're done. The East versus West pairing is difficult to pair a lot of that stuff because bourbon is so overpowering.
Let's do it now.
Okay.
Be my guest. But I feel like if you're going to talk about it, you have to pour a bourbon. And I'm gonna finish off this tequila.
Is a manager on here? Is a manager over there? Can you pour me? And I want you to put it on ice, please, because that's how I drink my bourbon. I don't care what Kathy Murphy or Joe Farrington or Matt Deal think about this.
We got roughly 20, 25 people watching right now.
That's a lot. First of all, that's a lot of people. You know what's cool?
I am gonna say one thing.
Yes.
The fact that you shared it.
Yeah.
I'm seeing names on here that I have not seen in any of my episodes.
Of course.
For those of you that are new, follow the Booze Nest on Instagram. Follow the Booze Nest on Facebook. You will see exactly when these episodes happen.
Spasse, I'm a big deal around here. I don't know if you know that.
I know you are. Just by eating your food, I know you are.
You said I have to pour a bourbon.
You know what? You can pour whatever you want, actually. But I am going to mention again, for those of you that just jumped on that maybe you're not familiar with Khom Fai or don't know if they're open, to order from Khom Fai, go to khomfai.com or call 586-247-7773. Give them a call. Order. I had dinner from them tonight, and again, it was delicious.
I love a plug. I love a good plug.
The next time I come there or the next time I get carryout, I am getting those scallops.
Because I'm going to talk about that as my next pairing. First of all, Amanda Jade, pour me a Weller Special Reserve, the green label, and I want you to put it with 1 cube of ice for me. I'm going to drink it with 1 cube of ice. I'm going to drink a Weller Special Reserve because we're giving one away. Those scallops, dude, those are killers. So those scallops, I think, if I remember correctly from the original notes I took, are going to make it onto the East versus West pairing event that we're doing. Okay, so let me talk about East versus West pairing event.
Actually, you know what? Now that you're saying that too,
yes.
Can we substitute third place?
Bring
And we're
the
gonna add something to first place.
bring the bottle too when you're done, so I can show the people at home. I don't want to say the taters at home. That's not nice. I'm gonna show the people at home what they're missing.
Just to make a difference between first and second place,
Mhm.
I will give away 2 tickets to your East versus West event,
You're gonna buy 2 tickets?
and I'm gonna give it away to the first place winner. Plus, they're getting that WSR.
I want you to know, whoever is getting this, what does Weller Special Reserve cost on the secondary market right now? Someone tell me.
$25.
No, on the secondary market.
Secondary, 40.
Yeah. I'm gonna
Maybe
eat
50.
I'm gonna eat a Rangoon so I don't get too boozed up. These are delicious.
There you go. And those are made in house too, aren't they?
Spotsy doesn't even know. You're getting a $240 value for this first place.
That's fine.
Oh my god. Okay. I got the Weller Special Reserve with 1 ice cube. Cheers, sir. This bottle.
So we're
It's
now
so
that I
not
said
special.
that.
Okay.
Now that I said that, I am gonna say one thing, and I really don't want to change it, but I might.
Mhm.
We're gonna have to discuss offline because it is our giveaway.
Mhm.
What exactly first, second, and third place gets? Now
Yeah.
that I committed to what I committed to on first place.
Listen, you have to promise me you won't offer anything else up. We're just doing a podcast here,
We're
and
good.
you literally added $200 to the first place. So please stop doing that.
We're good.
Okay. Oh my god. So
We gotta make it fun, bro.
Spasse gets a new job, and now the guy is balling all over his podcast. I'm just saying. Okay, this
We're
is
good,
Weller's Special Reserve. This is the green label. This is
You know what I have to say for those that aren't watching.
what's that?
Sorry,
Yeah, true.
but they are also gonna see it. But
That's true.
now that I added that, we're gonna watch these submissions like a hawk.
Well, they'll know. The people in here right now will definitely get in on it. Bill Kelly said these scallops are gold. So the scallops are the best pairing with Japanese whiskey too. So this East meets West pairing we're doing is going to be with
for those that are saying I am sober.
Oh God,
I'm just doing it for the sake of the giveaway. If I was drunk, this would be a totally different story.
this is so easy to
I'd probably
drink.
give away half of my freaking collection if I was drunk.
If Travis was here, I just want to say this is so smooth. This is so smooth and easy to drink. I'll tell you right now.
You would call it smooth.
Mm.
So here's the thing. Now that you said that, how many people in Michigan Breakfast Club like or dislike that word smooth when describing a drink? And please put it in the comments.
Who was from BLMC? Did he get his bottle? If he didn't get his bottle, just tell him to come in. I'll buy him a pour. I looked him up. I'm a creep. I think I saw him. He's in Birch Run. If you ever come to this side of the state and you didn't get a bottle, I'll pour you one for free. That guy that was in BLMC. I feel so bad. You know, one time, dude, when I was in old when I did a giveaway in old NBC, people were talking about Elmer T. Lee and Weller like it was the second coming of Christ. And so what I did was I offered a free tasting of both. 1 ounce, and come hang out and drink, and we'll hang out and just drink. It was before we were open. No joke, 8 people showed up. Like hundreds of people said they wanted it. I offered a free pour of Weller Special Reserve and a free pour of ETL. 8 people showed up, and we drank it, and we hung out. We had some food, and we drank some other stuff, and it was a really good time. But man, I just like to give the opportunity for people to come out. Bill Kelly will toss in a few samples of my Buffalo Trace. Oh God, Bill Kelly's got a Buffalo Trace that's got
Well, send us a message. We'll talk offline after this.
a lot of history. Lauren Lejewski is here too. I love that. So let's just say this. So let's just do this. So let's do this. Let's talk about East versus West really quick and get that out of the way.
Yeah,
I have a feeling these tickets are going to sell out ASAP. Okay, so we paired up. We joined Maker's Mark behind me, and Suntory whiskey, which is Japanese, Japan's oldest whiskey distillery. Them and Nika are the 2 oldest ones. And we joined forces to do East meets West, and we're going to taste some stuff that is a bourbon made in America, obviously, Maker's Mark, and we're going to taste some stuff from Suntory, which is really exciting. We're going to have Yama 12 there. We're going to have the Toki is going to be in there. We're going to do some Hakushu. So if you want to try some peated, you get a little bit of peated. So if you like scotch that's peated, you're going to love this. It's not too intense.
Can I try that?
Of course.
Absolutely.
And we're going to pair it with a bunch of food. And the way we decided to do this is Greta's idea again, by the way. I keep talking about her. We're going to bring out a lot of courses to eat at the same time. And instead of pairing our best pairings one-to-one like we do all of our wine pairings, you're going to have all the whiskey in front of you, including, I can announce it now because it's finally available in Michigan. We're doing also featuring Legion, which is a combination, which is a barrel that was picked from Jim Beam. Or no, it was a barrel picked from Makers, forgive me. And then the master distiller of Suntory.
Is Tina still on here? Can she confirm?
Yeah, Tina knows. No, I know what it is because it wouldn't make no sense. It was Jim Beam and Suntory. Makers made a barrel of their whiskey, and then the master distiller from Suntory finished it in 2 other barrels and came up with a master blend. And so you have this awesome bottle. It's called Legion that is available now, and we're going to do it the thing. It just came out in Michigan, and it is a really cool crossover bottle they did together. So we're going to feature that too. So I think there's 7 whiskeys at this tasting that we're doing tastings for. And we're going to put all the food out there, and we're going to do the food in different categories. We're going to do like a fat. We're going to do a savory. We're going to do a sweet. We're going to do just all these different styles, smoke, salt. And you're going to be able to taste them with each one of the whiskeys if you want and decide what you like is the pairing, which we've never done it this way before. We've always paired it for you and told you why it's good. Now you get to decide. And it's a really cool idea, and I'm really excited about it. I think tickets are going to go for $100, which is pretty typical, but you are trying 7 different pours, and you're getting 6 different courses of food. I am positive they're going to sell out before they even make it to public. So if that is the case, we might do 2 because I want my people on our Facebook page and some of the people that are Khom Fai fans to also get an opportunity to buy tickets. But I have a feeling because at limited capacity, we can only sell 40 seats or so with half capacity. We're going to sell those out before they even make it to public. So keep that in mind.
So I know that's already delayed. Do you have a potential date available, or are you waiting to see what happens December 9th?
We're going to have to wait. So December 6th was the date of the event.
Yeah.
Like we talked about before. So it's delayed. I would still love to do in December, but obviously if you wait a week, you're okay. If it keeps going, you're not good. If you get to the week of December 25th, you're in big trouble. We might have to do it in the new year. Someone's in for a ticket. Believe me, everyone is in for a ticket.
Arthur said he's in.
Arthur, everyone is in for a ticket. I don't know how to tell you guys this. I love Beam Suntory, by the way.
And by the way, for those that are just joining, I'm going to mention 2 things again. First of all, if your name shows up like Facebook user like Arthur's did, go to StreamYard.com/Facebook and allow StreamYard access to your Facebook so that your name actually can appear on this chat. Second thing I'm going to mention is Khom Fai actually is open for carryouts. To order from Khom Fai, go to khomfai.com or call 586-247-7773. And for those of you as well that just joined, I know it's been a while. We already polished off both of my carryout cocktails. We're actually on pour number 4, I think. Mm-hmm. Which, by the way, these are great freaking stamps that you guys put on these.
Thank you. That's a gift from my wife. Come on, shout out. Let's go.
Yeah. So I definitely say beautiful job on the carryout cocktails. And just like you mentioned a little bit earlier too, starting tomorrow, depending what time I get there with the sample bottles, and I'll admit, if you order too early, it is because of me that it's delayed, which I think your servers will know that it's coming to them.
Yo, you'll get them if you order before you get here. You'll get them in these bags, but it's going to be a tiny amount at the bottom, just so you know.
Yeah.
They're only 1 ounce samples.
I'll be very honest. If you want to wait for the glass sample bottles, probably plan for 5:30, just because I'm at Secretary of State beforehand and I have no idea what's going on. And
you have a birthday coming up, you said?
Yeah, this Saturday.
This
Saturday. 30, or no, not 30. Shit, 29.
Chrissy Hugo's in the house. Hey, real quick,
Yeah.
You're 29 years old. I feel like I'm a young guy. I feel like I don't know if it's because you ever heard the expression Asian don't raisin?
Yeah.
I just had my birthday on the 12th, I'm 37 years old, man.
Happy birthday, buddy.
That's so old, dude. I'm ancient. Remember when your parents were 40 and 50 years old and you thought to yourself, like, holy mackerel, that's old. Nowadays, I feel like 50 is the new 30. I'm just going to throw it out there. I'm trying to get ahead of it. It's wild.
So. Yeah. But,
I mean, I don't know. I still wear flat brim hats and backward hats. I feel like, I don't know, man. I don't like doing my lawn. I don't like cutting my grass. I don't know.
Yeah. But again, I will mention for those that are in the area, and I know I'm pushing you a lot. I sound like a broken record, but I really want to make sure you guys succeed in this time. Definitely, to order, go to www.khomfai.com or call 586-247-7773 to place your order. If they were to want to place an order during the weekend, especially with this being a holiday weekend, what do you think will be their wait time?
So
if you were to ballpark it,
we're still open for 20 minutes. If you order now, you'll get your order in 15 minutes, 100%. Second of all, we're closed Thursday for Thanksgiving. Yeah. Speaking of Chrissy Hugo, I worked at Dave & Buster's for a long time, like 5 or 6 years before I went away to school. And then after I got back for a little bit. They're open 365 days a year. I worked every single Easter. I worked every Christmas Eve. I worked every New Year's Eve because you had to pick holidays. I worked every one of them. When this restaurant opened, I said, you are not working. I said to my employees, you guys are not working any holidays. Some of you have kids. I'm closed for Halloween. I'm closed for Labor Day. I'm closed for Memorial Day. I don't even care. It doesn't even bother me because these people have lives outside of this building and working that means something to them, right? Yeah. And families that miss them and care about them. With that being said, we're closed Thursday. Closed. Don't call me. Don't ask me if I can come in. Don't ask me if we're making you food. It's not happening. Now.
Do not call. Do not pass go. Do not collect $200.
Do not do it. So, besides that, though, we're open Friday, we're open Saturday and Sunday, all that stuff, 4 to 9. We're open Monday. We're open Tuesday through Sunday from 4 p.m. to 9 p.m. And that's because COVID's got us all messed up. Mm-hmm. We're just closed Thursday. So if you want to come in any of those times and order and call or go over the phone, on Friday and Saturday, it's obviously the busiest. If you order right away, we're good for, 15, 20 minutes. When you get to dinner time around 6 o'clock, we're more 30 to 45. And if we're banging, you're going to be waiting like 45 to 50 minutes, which is, I don't want to say rare because on the weekends we are busy. But Friday and Saturday are the worst days as far as that goes. Just make sure you plan early. Are
you on Grubhub or Uber Eats or anything as well?
Oh, man. If you want to get into this, we are on DoorDash. Okay, we're on DoorDash, but I despise being on DoorDash. But we have no choice because
so in other words, you would highly recommend going to you directly?
Oh, so we deliver in-house. If you order from DoorDash, not only are you paying more because we mark up our food on DoorDash, you are also paying a higher delivery fee and you're paying a higher service fee. So let me just put it this way. DoorDash takes 30% of everything I sell. They will not allow us to use our own delivery drivers, but the problem is the platforms are so popular that I'm missing out on new people. People don't go on DoorDash and think to themselves like, hey, I wonder if Khom Fai delivers through DoorDash. They think to themselves, I'm getting delivery. Let me go on DoorDash and see what I want to get.
Yeah.
In that case, we wouldn't be getting the business anyways. If you call us and have our delivery drivers deliver your food, which, by the way, we beefed up our delivery drivers, you won't have to wait more than 45 minutes for your food. And this is like award-winning, made from scratch. It's set up as you go. Nothing's pre-made. That's why it takes 45 minutes. There's no way I can do it faster. Yeah. Our delivery drivers do it.
It was very good today, by the way.
Oh, it'll cost you
100 times.
It'll cost you less if you order through us. And our drivers can leave as soon as it's done, so it'll be fresher.
Do you have a mile radius?
Yeah, so we typically did 5 miles before, but now with the shutdown, I think we'll probably go up to 10 miles, which is super far because I have a couple drivers on now. So, I mean, at 9 miles, they're gone for like 40 minutes. So please be kind to them and remember that, especially when you tip them.
Is there a tip included? I was going to ask that as well.
So there's a $4 delivery charge, and what that covers is, a wear and tear on their vehicles and the gas and stuff. So tip is not included. We always encourage people to tip on top of the $4 delivery charge, which, by the way, $4 is not that much money. It's less than DoorDash and Uber Eats and all that stuff. So and take care of them this year. We have very gracious guests. We have very generous guests, and I'm really appreciative of that. Before we went on shutdown, the last day of service, people were giving monster tips, and that's so sweet of them. All of our regulars came in, and they're really nice. So thank you for that. But, man, think about those delivery drivers. And right, Bill says $4 more than fair. Thank you, Bill. It's like it's still cheaper than all those services, and you'll get it from us directly, and you'll benefit someone that works here in the store. So thank you.
Yep. So I think we're at about that time where, because we already asked what's next for Isaiah and Khom Fai.
A lot.
Unless there's anything you want to, if there's more you want to add, be my guest.
Are you getting bored? Are you getting bored of me yet?
No, I'm not, actually. I wanted to make sure everything you want to say, you say. And not only that, because we're at an hour and 45, and if we have to go to 3 hours, I will. I don't care. But I definitely want to use some time so that I can open it up for questions.
Yeah, so we'll go to questions in a minute. Can they deliver a bourbon flight with the food?
Like
yeah, 100% they will. Yes, Bill.
So I just saw that.
Yeah. We'll do that.
Now
I'll deliver anything.
Question was asked.
I'll deliver anything.
I'll
literally.
Was asked, would you do a bourbon flight without food?
Yes. Yeah. You don't have to. Yeah. You don't have to order food.
Okay.
You can order whatever you want. We'll deliver it. I mean, you got to pay the $4 fee no matter what. But you can get whatever you want. You order. People order. No joke. People call and get 3 spring rolls, and that's it. So I don't know. I don't know what they got going on. But okay. So let me talk about some things that are coming up.
I gotta ask this then. Did I order enough when I ordered today then?
Yeah, you guys ordered a lot of stuff.
Or did I have to order
drinks? No, you ordered a lot and you ordered drinks. What the heck? You guys ordered the whole thing, man. No, Sponsa, you guys went wild.
I gotta make sure I'm good.
No, they're good. Yo, whether we don't care, we'll make you as much or as little food as you want. You know what I'm saying? I don't have a minimum. I'll order you as
Bill Kelly's gonna call you tomorrow.
Bill's a guy. Last time Bill came in, let me tell you about too. When you guys try to get to know me a little bit, message me on Facebook before you come in. If you come in on Friday and Saturday, it's really hard. If you don't come in on Friday or Saturday and you message me,
no. Bill
came in last time. Bill's a great guy. I have samples that are dropped off to me all the time. People in the bourbon community are so nice. They drop off samples. I've got 20 or 30 samples back there. I cannot open those every night. Bill came in. Someone dropped me off.
So you should open one right now.
I'll do that next. I'll go back and pick a random sample. Bill came in last time, and I said, Bill, someone dropped me off a rum sample. Bill's a huge rum fan. I think it was like an 18-year or something crazy. And people just drop these off. They're so nice. I said, Bill, let's share this. I don't drink any of the samples by myself. If a sample comes in, I share it with a guest, and we can have one together. You come in. Wait till this madness is over. Sponsor, come in. We'll drink some of these samples. Sponsor, someone dropped off. Someone dropped off an Eagle Rare.
If I'm coming in for a sample, though, I'm bringing samples.
You're gonna leave me great,
or I'm bringing a bottle.
Great, and so now I'm gonna have 30 samples back there still. Hey, that's what happens. People come in, they bring samples, and I have time. Joe, come into the restaurant. I have samples all day long for you too.
Joe always wants.
Hey, Amanda Jade, in the back office, up where the small samples are, runs through there and pick one at random, and we're gonna try one. Doesn't matter what it is. Lauren Arini
says she loves samples.
Lauren, let me tell you something about Lauren Arini. First of all, super hot. I'm going to throw that out there. Second of all, Lauren is one of my neighbors, by the way. Lauren loves red curry. She switched over to curry noodles from her red curry. If you like curry, that's the move. I'm just going to tell you right now. Curry is the move. Okay. Next. It says, hi, Amanda. Amanda who?
I have no idea, but we're trucking right now. We still have a shit ton of viewers, just so you know.
I'm telling you, dude. Thank you. Let's see what Amanda Jade brought us. Jesus. Okay. You have no idea what you grabbed. This is a late 60s Jim Beam sample. I'm telling you, Spasse, people come into this. Can you give me another Glencairn, ma'am? Give me another Glencairn. Do not put ice in it. Amanda Jade, give me another Glencairn. Do not put ice in it. Okay, I lied. I take back all that stuff. I take back all that stuff I said about ice. I take it back. I lied. I lied to all of you. Amanda Jade just brought me a late Jim Beam. Someone came and brought me this. I didn't do anything. You know who I think brought me this? Is his name? Oh my God, I'm so rude. Is his name Jason Sherrill? Is that his name?
Yeah, he was on earlier. I don't know if he's still on.
That dude is a very nice guy to talk to. He is not a douchey guy in the bourbon community. Two, not because he brought me this sample. I'm pretty sure this is a sample. If it's not, I apologize. Whoever brought me this. He was very kind. He came in for his anniversary and brought some samples in. We tried to show him really good time. He'd never been in before, and it was just an awesome night. He is such a nice person. I think this is from him.
Nice.
I'm gonna pour this. This is a late '60s
So
Jim.
I don't know if you saw the comment, but Kathy said, "Come on, isn't that your bartender?"
Yeah, Amanda Jade. Oh, Kathy Murphy. Okay, let me tell you about Kathy Murphy and Amanda Jade and the relationship they have. First of all, this is a love story as old as time. Amanda Jade has been bartending for Kathy Murphy for a long time now. Kath loves bourbon-based drinks. She comes in and orders old fashions all the time. Amanda Jade's whatever she wants to make. Whoever is working. Kevin's working. Amanda Gardner's working. Doesn't matter.
So bartender choice.
Nick, this is okay. So Nick Arini's in here too. His wife was just in here, and I just called his wife hot, and now he's listening. Great. Now I'm embarrassed. Late '60s Jim.
Here's the comment that you said earlier.
Nick, I will do this. I will bring this. I'll drop this off on the way home tonight, so you can taste late '60s Jim Beam.
Ooh.
I've never had something this old, because I don't want to drink alone, and I'm not drinking this by myself. First of all,
there you go.
On the nose. Okay, so I just learned.
I'm gonna let you take over for a second. This is all you.
This is a master som tasting. Okay, this is what I learned. I learned if anyone's ever doing a tasting at home, take your Glencairn or your glass, put it up to your nose, breathe in deep, and then you're gonna smell a lot of ethanol, especially if you haven't been drinking. Pull it away from your nose until you stop smelling the ethanol, and that's where your comfort zone is gonna be. Okay. So first of all, there's no ethanol in this bottle, so
we haven't been drinking.
Right. That's why I don't smell any ethanol. Two, you ever been driving in your car and someone rolls down the window in the front seat and it starts making that fan noise, that like rapping noise, until someone else opens a window and a cross breeze goes through? That's what we're going to do now too. You put your nose in the glass, you're going to smell, and you're going to open your mouth, and you're going to breathe in through your nose and your mouth at the same time. And that's going to get rid of some more of the ethanol, and it's going to give you more just the smell of the bourbon.
Ooh.
Oh, my God. Okay. The next thing to know, I'd love to see you whip a dessert using Simple 69. Bill Kelly brought me back a couple bottles of Simple 69 from Florida. It's a Kentucky bourbon. It's not a bourbon. Okay. It's cinnamon. It's like a, what is that, Fireball, but way easier to drink.
So that's like a Bananas Foster type of pour type of thing.
Yeah,
or am I way off?
No, it is, but it's so easy to pour. I don't know anything about the Bananas Fosters. I'm not a... Man, it sucks because I know a lot about food, but I don't know anything about pastries. It's just so easy to drink on its own. Okay. Holy mackerel. Man, Jason, this is insane that you would drop this off to me, by the way. Okay, that's wild. So I learned from Tina Langley, who is a Jim Beam rapper. Is she still on? First of all, if she is, shout outs to my girl Mango.
I think so, yeah.
Shout outs to my girl
Tina,
Mango.
if you're still on, send me a message on Facebook. I'll send you a link so you can jump on.
Tina, if you're still on, tell us about 1960s Jim Beam. LOL, Nick's watching. I know you're watching, Nick. I got this sample for you. Now listen, this thing, it's really light. It's easy to drink. It doesn't have I'll be honest, it doesn't have a super long mouthfeel. That Old Forester from 79 has a super long mouthfeel. This one went away pretty quick. This oak, though, we learned is 100 years old. So if this is from the 60s, this is an 1860s oak that it was finished in. The other thing that people don't think about, Spasse, is that the water content inside this bottle is different than the water we use now. Sometimes the water now is a little bit too clean, a little bit too refined, a little bit too filtered, right? More fluoride in the water. 1960s water is insanely different. I
actually just sent if Tina's still on, I just sent you a link that you can jump on and join us. So if I see you jump on, I'll add you in. But go ahead. I want to hear the way you describe it.
Well, I just want to tell you, the water content is so different in old, and this is what I learned. And Bill Argent taught me a lot about this. and so did Greta. The water is so different. The filtration system's different. It's going to have different flavors to it. It's going to be more full bodied. And sometimes we think to ourselves, like, what can be cleaner? But sometimes you don't want clean. Sometimes you want something with a little bit of character. And that's what this is. It's funny because I don't know what proof this is. All the old bottles, this is a Jim Beam bottled in bond too. Interesting. All the old bottles, they drink hotter. That Old Forester's 86 proof, it drinks like 110 proof at least. This drinks, I'm sure this is an 86 or 90 proof, and this drinks a little bit hotter. Tons of flavor. And it has a little funk in it. This doesn't have wild turkey funk, but it has some funk to it, and it is really cool. Part of what I love about bartending and spirits is the history that goes into each of these bottles. How many distilleries have opened and closed? Guys ask about the provenance of bottles that they don't recognize, and there is a litany of information about different distilleries that have opened and closed and been bought out and not touched and retouched, and it is so cool to see that history, and that is all in this glass. There's hundreds and hundreds of years in this glass right now in the history of where it got to. My grandfather grew up in the hills of Hayside, Virginia. His parents were moonshiners. So I have two sides of family. My dad is from Thailand, and my mom's side is from Virginia. He grew up in the hills of Hayside where they made moonshine in the mountains of Virginia, and they hid it inside old hollowed-out tree trunks. And no joke, when people would come around and they would try to bust people and find these bottles, like no joke, like these people wouldn't come back out of the mountains, right? This is very real. Like this is a very real thing that happened in our history. And all of that is a culmination that comes into the bottle. And that's why I love the history of this so much. That's why it means so much to me.
Yeah. So I know you mentioned earlier, and Tina, if you're still on, I sent you an invite or a link that you can jump on and also talk about East versus West. But if you were to pick any bottle other than the bottle you picked earlier, what would it be?
Okay, so let me tell you this.
Before you answer.
Yes.
Well, before you answer real quick, I'm just going to do a quick plug.
Let's do this. Like Joe Rogan. Let me use the bathroom.
2 minutes.
Hold on, just like Joe Rogan. Let me use the bathroom. Use this time.
Be my guest. Do whatever you got to do.
The thing for me real quick.
There you go. Do what you got to do. For those of you that maybe have questions that are watching, because I know the viewership is still pretty high, send me a message, or I don't want to say send me a message, but comment in this thread any questions you may have about not only Khom Fai, but cocktails itself that either of us can answer for you. And again, I'll say, Tina, we sent you an invite. If you want to join, be my guest. If you don't, it's cool. I know we wanted to get another perspective on the future event that will be on at Khom Fai. I sent you a personal PM. I don't think I sent it through the Booze Nest like I just showed on the screen. But any questions you guys have, definitely send it to us. I also do want to ask again, what's in everyone's glass? What's everyone drinking? And I am very not only surprised but happy that we got 2 hours in and we still have so many comments. Isaiah, actually, what I kind of want to do, if you're okay with it.
Yeah. Don't give anything else away.
I want to get. No, I'm not giving anything else away. I want to, if your bartender is available, I want to give the mic to her and see if she maybe has anything she wants to add, not only about Khom Fai, but anything drink related. And to be honest, I'm probably going to fire a few questions at her if that's okay with you.
We'll see how she does. So Amanda Jade, they want to talk to you. Bring a chair over here. She said, "Are they going to talk to me?" I said, "Absolutely not. You don't have to worry about that at all." Grab a chair.
And now that I did that, I'm gonna expand. I'm gonna be able to show both of you probably.
Why didn't you just use this in the first place? Okay, Amanda Jade. So just so you guys know, Amanda Jade,
I know, trust me,
was one of our servers at the restaurant. She's done such a fantastic job. Had interest in learning the bar. Trained with one of our head bartenders and is quickly becoming one of our new favorites here. Also, I think all of our servers have that kind of same relationship. So I'm going to give you this so you can hear. And you can ask her some questions, and we'll see what she can answer.
Correct me if I'm wrong. You can probably hear me now.
Yeah, I can hear you.
So I guess my first question is, if you are able to say anything to anyone about what the pandemic has done to anything related to Khom Fai, and not just Khom Fai, but the service industry itself, what would you suggest for everyone that not only are coming to Khom Fai as customers, but also like, I guess not, I don't want to say pointers because that sounds bad, but if you were to so in other words, you're given the next 5 minutes or less to say whatever you want to those that maybe order food or drinks from you in the next 2 weeks since we're still in shutdown. Be my guest, say what you want to say. You're more than welcome to spit out anything you want to say and be my guest. Because I know it's probably a tough time for you guys right now.
Yeah, it's definitely really different being like carry out only and stuff. I don't know, but it's not like crazy different. It's business as usual as far as like what I'm doing, but I don't know. It's different, but it's good. It's not really an issue. I appreciate everyone that's coming in and stuff, and I don't know. It's really cool seeing everybody all the time still, even though it's such like a scary thing sometimes. So.
And there are people, so our guests,
Yeah,
just so you guys know, our guests are like so generous and caring and kind, and they know what we're up against, right? We've done a good job of establishing ourselves in the community. They've done a good job of coming out and supporting us. We have multiple times over and over again had like huge support from our guests. And they're sometimes like the night we came in, and Amanda can attest to this, the night they came in, the night before we closed, some of them came in for their last meal. We're like honored that they chose us before the shutdown to have our food, and they just left like ridiculous tips, right? And it's important because like they're gonna need to carry over through the time. All of a sudden, Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday night are nothing like they were before, and I think a lot of them realize that, and we're really grateful to have them too. It's not like we're the only ones that have a part in this. It's a two-way street, right? And our guests are always really gracious and generous, and that means a lot to us.
Yeah, people have definitely been more generous since all this is happening, but it's really sweet of them.
Which is an awesome sign for humanity in general, right? We always talk about the bad stuff that we're seeing, but people are rallying around a lot of the service industry, and they're trying to do their part to help out.
So if there was to be anything that maybe, I don't want to say you would suggest, but so how have day-to-day operations changed since all of this happened? I guess that would be a better way to question or ask what I was about to ask.
I mean, I don't know. Things aren't really as different as you think that they would be, you know? Like, it's just, I don't know. I don't really know how to explain it. It's not much different.
So
we've
always prided ourselves in the stuff we do anyways, right? So we have new regulations, but the regulations that we've been doing have been going on for months now. Like, so the hand sanitizers and cleaning and doing a good job of that stuff, the face masks and the gloves and the 6 feet distancing. We've been doing that for a long time. The half capacity, all that stuff. We switched over to curbside pickup a long time ago so people didn't have to come in. And it's not just for the guests. People sometimes confuse that too. It's not like the restaurant industry is like a bunch of cowboys who like don't care about what's going on and we need to make money above all else. It's stressful when you come in and you in your normal life may see a couple of coworkers or your family on a daily basis. Amanda Jade will see sometimes like 50 people, 60 people, 70 people a day when it's busy, right?
Yeah.
And it's nerve-wracking for people. Oh, Murph said you rock.
Murph.
A legend. So it's nerve-wracking for them, but they're settling in. So when she says it's not much different, she means like, I'm sure, I don't mean to put words in your mouth, it means not much different than what we've been doing the last couple of months because we've been trying to do all that stuff and follow protocols. I mean, I get it. There's a lot of restaurants who are on their last leg and they're scared to death. and they're not, and they're a little more liberal about what they're doing with stuff. But the truth is, like, you have to do this stuff for the community, and we've always done that, and we continue to do it now. And so it's nothing new to us. We've been doing this for quite a while now.
Yeah, it's just like the new normal now.
Yeah, I mean, let's be honest. No, go ahead. We might guess.
Oh yeah, it's just like the new normal now, and like it wasn't really like difficult to transition into it, which is why it doesn't feel like that different in general, you know. So I don't know, it was an easy transition.
It sucks not seeing guests. It's hard. That's one thing that's tough. Hospitality.
Yeah.
To people that do hospitality and they actually do it and they believe in it and they think about it, it's hard not seeing guests. It's hard not talking to them. It's hard not making suggestions. It's hard not making them have a good time. So that part really does suck, man. Like, but as far as the other stuff goes, like we said, our guests have been so gracious that, you know, we've been able to do it. So,
yeah. I mean, so I guess my final question, and like I said, I'm gonna give it a few minutes to open it up to other people. But first of all, I'm pretty sure you were the one that made my cocktails, and they were excellent.
Thank you.
So I definitely give you props for that.
Thank you.
And I'm pretty sure you're the one that delivered them to my car, and I give you props for that as well. Because I know it's such a different world right now. It's probably weird for you guys to have to walk outside of the bar to give people food or drinks.
Yeah, that
And
is
those
a little
were, like, I'll be honest, for the, like, and I'm going to sound very nitpicky when I say it this way, but actually, no, it's not really nitpicky, actually. Those two cocktails that you made for me tasted like cocktails I would make at home. So it's like everything that you guys are doing, like the food that I ordered today, the drinks I ordered. And again, I know I sound like a broken record, but for those of you that do not know, please go to Khom Fai, www.khomfai.com, or call 586-247-7773. That way you can place your order for Khom Fai pickups. And the cool thing about it, for those that are maybe not comfortable walking into a restaurant to pick things up, they actually bring everything out to your car.
Mhm.
And that is
In fact, we don't want you here.
Like one of the best things I've seen during it. Yeah.
Yeah, we don't want you in here.
It's in a nice way. You don't have in a nice way, you don't have to walk in. We don't want you there. Or they want you there. But in the nicest way possible.
We're closed. We're closed at 9 o'clock, so we're closed today. But tomorrow, we're closed Thursday also for Thanksgiving. But tomorrow, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, all that stuff, 4 p.m. to 9 p.m. You can order online. You can order over the phone, curbside pickup or delivery. Like I said, our radius is like 10 miles right now. So take advantage of that and get delivery. You don't have to leave your house. We'll do our alcohol to go, all that stuff.
I'll be very honest with you. I would not be surprised if I order again by Sunday.
That'd be awesome.
So definitely, just to close it out, unless you have anything you want to add, I definitely want to thank you, Isaiah, and I want to thank you. I forgot your name. Amanda. I want to thank you, Amanda, for jumping on for the last few minutes. It's been a pleasure talking to you guys. I definitely appreciate everything you guys are doing with the community. And I definitely appreciate everything that you guys are doing as a restaurant and bar to stay open. I guess the biggest thing I can say is if there's anything I can do as the Booze Nest, or if there's anything that you guys think you need from outside, definitely feel free to reach out. I'm more than happy to have you guys on again for another episode. Amanda, if there's anything you want to add before we sign off, be my guest. Otherwise, for those that are watching, I definitely want to say a huge thank you for joining again. And stay tuned either tonight or tomorrow morning to the details of the giveaway that Isaiah and I mentioned earlier today. But with that, Isaiah, if you maybe want to give a few closing remarks before we end the episode, be my guest.
Yeah, for sure. So just want to review what we went over. First of all, thank you, Amanda, for coming on. Little Curbs, if you don't know her. We are doing our to-go cocktail program, so you can order online or over the phone. We're offering, obviously, our food Tuesday through Sunday from 4 p.m. to 9 p.m. for delivery.
They're very good, by the way.
Yeah, they're already on, right?
Awesome.
For delivery or curbside pickup. Make sure to take advantage of it. And then lastly, for anyone that's been part of anything as far as event-wise, so we just finished the wine event right before we went on lockdown again. We have to delay our bartending class, so keep an eye out for that. I'll either refund people or we'll just keep moving it like we've been doing. But the bartending class is going to be killer. All of our events are on khomfai.com or on our Facebook page, so make sure you guys like the page. Spase and I are going to figure out all the stuff for the giveaway, so don't worry about that. But we have our wine event coming up. We have our East meets West bourbon event and Japanese whiskey event coming up, which is going to be a huge hit, and our bartending classes. So just keep an eye out for that. Thank you guys so much. Thank you guys, like, not only in the bourbon community, but, like, honestly, I see a lot of our people on right now, and thank you guys so much for supporting us. We, even though we moved into a new big building, we're still a small business. We still have a lot of hurdles to climb. My house is a mile down the road from here. We're in the community and we love it so much. So Spase, thank you for having us on tonight in the Booze Nest. We really appreciate your time.
Thank you guys, and I appreciate it again. For those that are watching, definitely stay tuned. We'll be posting the giveaway details either later tonight or tomorrow morning. We just got to hash out a few things. And again, thank you guys so much for watching. This has been Spase from the Booze Nest and Isaiah from Khom Fai. Please stay tuned next week on Friday. I believe the date is, what is that date? Bear with me, I'm sorry. The December 4th will be the next episode of Bottle Banter. So stay tuned. I'll probably make an announcement about that next Wednesday or Thursday. And again, I want to thank everyone again for watching, and we'll see you guys again next time. Thanks.
Man, Jay, thank you.
Enjoy you guys' night.
Peace.